For the final time in Term 2 of 2024 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, it is time for Spreyton Cider Thursday Night Motorsport. It's the last hurrah, actually, in many respects, because it's the last time that we'll have an open wheel flavour to this night for the foreseeable future, with changes made to the schedule for Term 3, which we'll elaborate on a little bit later on in the broadcast. It's also the end of the road for Formula V as our mainstay category or championship on our platforms. And no better place to send off the Vs than one of the new circuits on the server, with plenty of slipstreaming and overtaking opportunities ahead of us here. The home of the Italian round of MotoGP, the Mugello circuit in Italy, as we welcome you along to what is a 6-race program tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of continent hopping associated with this one. We start here in Europe at the Mugello circuit. We then head to North America, to the USA specifically, to Detroit, Michigan, even more specifically, to the old home of the Detroit Grand Prix, the Belle Street circuit. I'm Zach Caven, alongside me, Josh Zuno's here, and also Daniel Correa. There are the track, circuit and weather conditions for you. Central European summertime, 1:07 p.m. server time as qualifying gets underway here for the last hurrah of Spreyton Cider Formula V. June 13, 2024. 16 kilometre an hour winds, and they're heading in a northwesterly sort of direction there. 23 degrees the ambient, 46 on track, so double if you like, and partly cloudy conditions with 76% humidity. The lay of the land is as simple as this, ladies and gentlemen. There are 38 points covering first and third in this title race. 519 for Glenn Cito. Now, we believe that there's been a little bit of late-breaking news there, and it's not 496 for Sam Chapman. He's actually a little bit closer to Glenn Cito, but I'll let Daniel Correa elaborate on that in just a few moments' time. And then 481 for Adam Lavis. And given what we've seen so far in Formula V this season, with no disrespect to anyone else, 381 for Ryan Tate, 371 for Tony Baker, then Phil King, of course, the up-and-comers champion on Tuesday night, 329 for Kevin Henderson, 328 for Chris Noble, 326 for John Merritt, and 309 for Brendan Nealon. With no disrespect to any of those blokes, it's all about that top three. As I say, good evening to the boys. And any one of them could win it, because as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, this format of racing, and particularly the structure of it, it's nowhere near straightforward.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah, exactly right. So we should be in for a cracker of a triple sprint. And yeah, just to elaborate on what you said earlier, so from what I understand, Sam Chapman had a penalty that was overturned, and so he should be on 5:02, I believe. So it is a 17-point gap between himself and Glenn Riddell.
That's a hefty penalty, 6 points. But if it's been overturned, then that actually works out very nicely in Chabo's favour. It could go anyone's way tonight. We're looking forward to seeing how this plays out. We've got about half a minute left in qualifying. Josh, good evening to you. Exciting times for the club, but as a fan of Formula V, I'm a little bit sad to see this championship go.
Yeah, let's just send her off in style, boys.
Exactly.
We'll give her a little bit of a break. We all know how much you and the rest of the club loves it, but, you know, there's other things on the horizon.
And, of course, we'll elaborate on the makeup of the new term at the end of the broadcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But Open Wheel Thursday Night Motorsport is going to become Open Wheel Tuesday Night Motorsport next term. More on that a little bit later. Tin Tops are coming back to Thursday night in a big way. We'll elaborate on what you can expect from Monday, July 8 onwards. at the end of the final race tonight of the Super Formula Lights, our Wings and Slicks Formula, which makes its way to the Detroit circuit in Belle, Michigan for a 3-race affair. So 6 races on the program tonight. What a way to spend the last Thursday of Term 2 with us here on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Sam Chapman and Adam Lavis, the championship combatants 1 and 2 on the grid. Tough run for Glenn Rd-10 in qualifying, but he's only 7/10 off the boys, which is nothing in this caper. Nick Wood, Ryan Tate, second row. Fred Kahn, Phil King, third row. Chris Nobles alongside Cito on the 4th row. And Aaron Russell alongside Adam Proctor on row 5. And Aaron's arrived with a bang in the last couple of weeks here. There's no doubt about that. 6th row is where you're going to find John Merritt, and alongside him is Chris Stark. 7th row, Kevin Henderson, Phil Butler. 8th row, Brett Bradbury, Aidan Schultz. 9th row, Brendan Neal on Lane Doburn. 10th row, Kurt Normanson and Jason Tierman. So a couple of the guys that had a run in the up-and-comers the other night are there on the grid ready to fire tonight. Jared Knight, Eduardo Zamora and Wayne Visser will make up this field of 23 to get us going for the first of 3. Race 28 of the campaign for Spreyton Cider Formula V. And of course, it's not possible without the great support of people like Spreyton Cider, people like Waste Options, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and also Flash Graphics. Huge thanks to them for their ongoing input and their involvement and their association and their support of the GSRC as season 17 draws to a close. Only tonight and, of course, tomorrow and Saturday to go. And all our boys will have a well-deserved break. Ready to fire! Formula V, we're about to send it off in style. The first of 3 from Mugello. First time this category has visited the venue. And there is the real potential that we could see some 5 and 6 wide action tonight on the run down the main straight. There they go. They climb the hill. That little bit of undulation in the main straight. The rise and fall. Now they drop down on the run towards the hairpin at turn 1. Beautiful start from Sam Chapman. The onus is on Chapo and Adam Lavis to go like scalded cats tonight if they're going to reel in Glenn Cito. And they need to try and find a way to keep as much distance and as many cars between themselves and Cito as they possibly can. Clean run so far. I won't be saying that by this time of races 2 or 3, given the inverts involved. 10-minute race here. Trouble, Adam Lavis. That could be the championship right there. Brett Bradbury's gone with him. That could be the title for Adam Lavis. That could be his hopes dashed. This now could well and truly be a race in 2. Sam Chapman and Glenn Rd-10. Doing the maths, ladies and gentlemen, we should get back to the line at the end of lap 4 to get a white flag, but there'll be plenty of overtime associated with this one tonight. 2 minutes 19, high 2 minutes 19, the pole time for Sam Chapman. And as a result of that, yeah, we're going to round it up to 2 minutes 20, 4 minutes 40, 7 minutes, there's 3 laps, 9 minutes 20, and 1 more gets you over that 11-minute marker. Don't worry about the 10-minute marker. We're going over 11 minutes for race 1. Then, of course, races 2 and 3 will be 15 minutes. So we'll probably only be adding another 2 laps or so to that. 6 laps, of course, would get you to 14 minutes. So 7 would be the distance there. So 5 and 7, the distances tonight, provided that we don't end up under the safety car. It's a 3-way fight at the front. Sam Chapman's been caught by Nick Wood and Ryan Tate. And this is one of those circuits, boys, where you really don't want to be running lonesome. You want battle packs like this. You want teammates. You want drivers to be allies. And you want dance partners. You want people to work with.
Yeah, exactly right. The Mugello's got a ridiculously long straight coming from that final turn. As we can see, Nick Wood just going up the left side. Oh, there was almost contact there with Ryan Tate. They're going to make it 3 wide, going down towards turn 1. And it looks like from the drone cam, the guys behind will mimic him as well.
Whoa, they are 4 wide. They were 4 wide, the battle 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th there momentarily. Nick Wood's going to lead from the front. All the right ingredients to suggest that we might see 3 different race winners here tonight. John Merritt's moved his way up to 7th. Glenn Cito to 4th. And right there, Merritt's on the tail of Fred Kahn and Chris Noble. Kahn hugging the inside. Noble had nowhere to go. Kahn shut the door. Merritt content to just sit there and wait for the moment. Ryan Tate has just been passed by Sam Chapman. 2:26 the standing lap time. And Kahn was wide on the exit of the right-hander, but he had room to work with to ensure that he could keep Noble and Merritt at bay. Noble and Merritt have been great combatants throughout the course of this campaign. We haven't seen as much of John Merritt as we'd like, but he's very confident tonight that the Pulse Tuning stable will still hold the Formula V title in its trophy cabinet at the end of this season. That is all on Glenn Cito's performance tonight. Cannot afford to run into trouble like Adam Lavis has already done so. Through we go. Fred Kahn all over the back of Cito at the moment. Jared Knight's done well. He's moved his way up to 13th place, up 8 spots already. He's got Lane Doburn for company. Knight, the biggest mover in the field thus far. Eduardo Zamora also up 6 spots. Adam Lavis hovering down in 17th at the moment. Brendan Neal and Brett Bradbury. We've lost Aidan Schultz already. That's unfortunate. And Kurt Nomanson is at the back of the pack. Through they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the fight for a lead at the moment. Covered by 1.4 seconds. Merritt to the outside, Noble to the inside. Merritt trying to go deep. No, he pulls out of it. Noble's the one that goes deep. Merritt will try and set this up in the slipstream down the main straight. They'll all be testing the capability, the potential gain from the slipstream here and whether they can get a move done off the final corner to the start-finish line. Noble will hold off Merritt to the line. Chapman goes by Wood to the outside, and yes, you can get it done by the line. Ryan Tate, Glenn Cito at Alfred Kahn and Chris Noble in there with John Merritt for company. Look at him, 3 wide still. But that inside line was 5 deep. Noble pulled to the outside. And Riddell going down the inside. Might lose out to Noble on the outside, remembering that if he can hold it tough through turn 1, turn 2's a left-hander. No. Noble won't have that covered off just yet, I wouldn't imagine. Cito around the outside now. Noble's going to get him back on the outside through. The right-hander. Oh, that's beautiful work from Chris Noble. And this racetrack, gentlemen, appears to be one of those where you're going to have to work for your overtaking opportunities to be executed. I mean, that took Noble. He was setting it up from the main straight. He didn't get it done until turn 3.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see just how much these gaps develop as they make their way around the track. We were kind of on the fence as to whether or not this would be good for the Formula Vs, but since we've 3 laps in, I think that's been confirmed. We've got nice battles happening at the front. Sam Chapman, Nick Wood had a little bit of leapfrog lap by lap. Looks like Ryan Tate's been able to squeeze in between them now, so it's going to be quite a bit of work for Nick Wood to make his way back through there, but we see just how strong the draft is on that main straight, and looks like Ryan Tate might even try and get it done in the next corner.
What about that? Tate couldn't get by on the inside. Chapman still survives. Nick Wood's there as well. Tate pulls out of the draft, goes for it down the inside to the right-hander. They're in the last sector now. The last sequence of corners. This is only lap 3 of 5. Noble tough around the outside on Wood. Cito and Merritt have both capitalised and got by Fred Kahn here. It's a race in 7 at the front. 2.7 then back to Stark. Proctor and Russell making up the top 10. Phil King is 11th. And no major incidents thus far. The only real talking point is that Adam Lavis is down in 15th position and really up against it. Main straight, let's go again. Nick Wood tucks in behind Ryan Tate. Noble goes with Chapman. They're all looking for a way through, but there is no way through. They're all hugging the inside of the circuit as best they can. Have a look at Johnny Merritt. He goes out to make it 3 wide. Makes a real go of it. Cito will get the draft from Nick Wood here as they head down the main straight towards turn 1. Ryan Tate there. Sam Chapman in the middle with no help. Merritt's on the outside. Merritt's ganged up on all of them and gone to the front. The Pulse Tuning Echuca Toyota Formula V leads the field to turn 1, and he came from 5th off the final corner. That is ridiculous from John Merritt, but not surprising in this caper. Cito, of course, tucked in there, 6th at the moment. Chapo's falling back into his clutches, and Nick Wood's there in 5th. Fred Kahn in 7th at the moment, still the fastest lap of the race, 2:19.663. We are a lap and a half from home, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be awesome right throughout the night. You just feel as though if they can keep it clean and keep it together, we're going to see some of the best last lap thrillers Formula V has produced all season right here and now.
Let's not forget here too, John Merritt You can see that green number with the up arrow. 10 positions from the start of this race in order to lead. We know that it's possible for him to do, and I almost hesitate to want to mention this, but we have seen in previous capers that John Merritt sometimes gets his brakes locked up and spins mid-corner. Now, I hope we don't see that tonight, but it is something to keep in mind.
For obvious reasons. So here we go, into the final sector. One more time, have a look at Fred Kahn hanging it out wide. And Sam Chapman as well. Chapman looking to go right around the outside of Merritt, can't get it done. And Chapman now trying to send it down the inside to cover off Chris Noble, does that. So Noble and Chapman have moved their way up to 3rd and 4th. Nick Wood's 5th, Cito 6th, still holding off. Of course, Fred Kahn there as well. They're still 2.2 ahead of Stark in that next battle pack. Down the inside, Tate's going to lead them back to the line. Potentially. Main straight, white flag in the air. Hold your breath, folks. Last lap thriller number 1 for the night. Right here and now. Race 28 of the campaign. Merritt pulls out of the draft and goes for it. Goes to the lead. Will hold sway as they hit the line with just over 5.5 kilometres to go. Chapman. Oh, no room to move, but he made it work. Chapman goes in on the inside to go to P1. Merritt's there as well. Noble and also on the outside, Nick Wood. They're 4 wide. They might even be 5 wide. Noble stick with 4 for the moment. Merritt goes 3rd to turn 1. He's got Noble on his outside. He's got Cito, his teammate, on his inside. You've got Chris Noble in 5th place, holding off Ryan Tate and Fred Kahn. That's Chapo all over the back of Nick Wood. Nick Wood's gone. Nick Wood's gone. That was a combination of Blinky Bill, Packard Loss, and also potentially... Oh, no! Chapman and Merritt have come together. Chapman and Merritt have come together, and Cito's going to lead them at Mugello. What on earth is going on here on Grand Final night? We need to go back and have a look at Nick Wood's incident. It was a combination of net code, packet loss, and also contact. Have a look at this. I hate interrupting a last lap trailer for a replay, but that has championship implications. He got help. He got help from Chapman. Chapman definitely got into the side of Nick Wood there, so that has championship implications as well. And that was the defining moment. Merritt out of the fight. Because Cito's come through, the seas have parted, it's opened up beautifully for him. Chapman now being passed by his teammate Chris Stark. Oh, contact, the 2 teammates are gone. Can you believe this? What on earth is going on here? The 2 teammates have come together. And all of a sudden, the Pulse boys are buying the locked up Sim Sports table a slab and saying, thanks very much. Unbelievable. Cito, Kahn, Noble, Merritt. Still any one of those 4 could win it. Ryan Tate still in the fight as well. And the next battle pack is now being led by Aaron Russell over Adam Proctor and Phil King. Last turn. Let's go. The drag race down the main straight. Fred Kahn got up on the inside of Glenn Cito. Merritt's there as well. Chris Noble, watch for him from 3rd. They'll be 3 wide by the time they get to the strike. It's Cito. Nose in front from Noble and Kahn. Cito, Noble, Kahn got to 2nd. Kahn, I don't think's going to get it done. No, Cito got it. Cito got it. Champion-elect gets the job done in race 1. Was nowhere near the fastest car on the circuit. Just had to be the right position, right place, right time. Brad Kahn loses out by less than 100th of a second, and Chris Noble was 3rd on the inside. Ryan Tate and John Merritt in there as well. 0.3 of a second. 0.3 of a second covered 3rd and 5th. Or 1st and 5th, rather. That is extraordinary. Adam Proctor held off Phil King and Aaron Russell. That was the second of the photo finishes you saw there. That little bobble, I think, is what cost Fred Kahn as they head across the start-finish line. Have a look at this. That is what 0.04 of a second looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Extraordinary. 0.3 covered the top 5. There they are in behind. Cito by a nose. Over Kahn, over Noble. And that second photo finish, that was Proctor edging out King and Russell. Jared Knight held off Lane Thoburn by a similar margin. And Phil Butler was 11th. And now we invert the whole field. This will be awesome. Aiden Schultz, I think, has already parked up for the night and gone. As a result of that, Kurt Nomanson will start on the front row, all on his lonesome. Second row will be Viz and Jason Tierman. Third row will be Brett Bradbury alongside Kevin Henderson. Fourth row, Nick Wood, Brendan Nealon. So that was a really costly moment for Nick Wood. Alongside Chris Stark on the fifth row will be his teammate Sam Chapman. Geez, that was... I wouldn't want to be either one of the teammates right now. Extraordinary. Eduardo Zamora, Adam Lavis, Phil Butler, Wayne Thoburn, Jared Knight, Aaron Russell, Phil King, Adam Proctor, and then John Merritt and Ryan Tate take you back to the end of row 10. Row 11 is Chris Noble and Fred Kahn, and Glenn Cito from row 12, all on his own, ready to fire. Penultimate race of the season, 29th run of the campaign. The full invert, the 10th and final full invert of the season in Spreyton Cider Formula V. A run down towards the first corner. It's imperative that these guys keep it clean here. They've got 7 laps ahead of them. Many overtaking opportunity possibilities within all of that. Down to turn 1, 3 wide. Adam Lavis is on a comeback mission here, so too Sam Chapman. And if Cito runs into trouble, that's about the only thing that's going... Oh, jeez!
Oh, they lived!
That could potentially get ugly. Yep, no, it has now. It has got ugly now. Noble and Thoburn involved off to the left-hand side. Sorry, Thoburn and Tate, my apologies. Thoburn and Tate off to the left-hand side and out of business. And another car running off there was Wayne Visser. Nick Wood will take the lead away from Kurt Nomanson. They might not catch him. Uh-oh. Kevin Henderson. Kevin Henderson
sorry.
and Sam. No, it's Starkey.
Chris Stark. It's Chris Stark. Oh, it's all unraveling now.
Oh, don't worry. Chapo's involved as well. Chapo's gone down the order to 13th. So Starkey was caught up, but Chapo was also inadvertently caught up in some of that garbage. And all of a sudden, Brendan Nealon, the onus is on him, Brett Bradbury and Jason Tierman to catch everybody else. Nick Wood will lead on his own for the moment. He's got Kurt Nomanson out by a second. Have a look at the 2 poles, boys. Oh, jeez. And John Merritt. And also Brendan Nealon almost banging wheels there on the run through the downhill left-hander. We ride on board with Adam Lavis. Chapman continues to fall down the order to 19th. I think that's curtains for Chapo. Especially if Cito doesn't run into trouble here. And that moment could also potentially, depending upon... Oh, jeez! Oh. John Merritt trying to split Aaron Russell. And Adam Lavis, and they're gone as well! Merritt Knight caught up in that. Oh, hot laps in the gravel. You don't often see that. Sam Chapman's off again. Chapo's off again. On the outside there in the final corner. Henderson and Merritt are on the tow rope. Chapman's going to pit lane. Butler and Stark as well. I think opening lap at Mugello. Great for commentators, great for spectators, nothing short of frustrating for drivers.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that this is the type of evidence that doesn't lend well from the complete full invert of a grid, because we saw race 1 and there was barely any contact until towards the end when things started to heat up, and then we have a full inverse grid, and right from the get-go you've got the fast guys coming through and everyone's hitting each other, and there's some serious contact. It's really good news for Adam Lavis. He's managed to keep it very, very clean this far. He's up 7 positions, so he's in a strong position for race 2. And if you have a look at some of the other names there, Russell's up 10, Noble's up 14, Kahn and Riddell both up 13. So Riddell started at the back of the grid and yet has managed to avoid all the carnage. So he takes the win in round 1, or race 1, I should say. And right now he's in a very strong position to try and make his way back up to the front again.
Apologies if anyone heard a ringtone in the background there. That was my niece trying to call me. She messages and says, "Oh, can you call?" and then doesn't wait for you to answer, just calls anyway. So got a little bit too excited there, she did, and had to quickly inform her via message that I'm working, and therefore I'll have to call her tomorrow. In the meantime, Phil King is there in 9th place. What a week it's been for him. On the back of, I'm pretty sure they had a public holiday in the King household yesterday to celebrate his success in the Livesey Racing Van Ryn Cup up-and-comers on Tuesday night. And he's sitting in there 9th at the moment behind Fred Kahn, Chris Noble, Aaron Russell and Jason Tim, and they're all chasing Adam Lavis. And Kurt Nomenson and Brett Bradbury are 3.6 seconds down on Nick Wood, so there's no catching Nick Wood at the moment. All these guys are just fighting for second. All of them, all the way down to Eduardo Zamora in 13th. And if they can work together here, they need to work together, they'll be able to reel in Brett Bradbury and Kurt Nomenson, I would imagine, and that's with no disrespect to those guys. But I reckon if they work together, they'll still get reeled in by the chasing pack because of that the sheer lap time difference between the likes of Russell and Lavis and the rest of them. Have a look at them. 3 wide down the main straight on the run towards turn 1. It's like watching Moto 3. It's fantastic. Down the outside. Chris Noble on Aaron Russell. Can't get it done. Noble's wide through 1. That'll open the door up for Lavis. Fred Kahn's in there as well. Trying to gobble up Phil King at the moment. Does so. Glenn Cito's worked his way back to 9th. So champion-elect still avoiding trouble at this point, which is exactly what he needs to do. The task of wrapping up and securing the championship made easier by the fact that he got the win in race 1, of course. Nick Wood's gone. Forget about him. 4.4 to the good. 10 minutes to go.
That's 4.8 seconds. I don't think there's any way for this pack, even if all these faster guys make their way to the front of it. It's too far gone. Nick Wood's lap times at 20.06 last time by. The only person that was anywhere close to him was Fred Kahn, who did a 219.5, and Glenn Cito-Riddell, who actually has a fast lap at 219.53. So yeah, I think they're a little bit too far. Nick Wood's probably cheering now, because inadvertently Brett Bradbury and Kurt Nomenson are acting as the cork in the bottle right now.
Oh, there goes Kurt Nomenson! We spoke too soon! Nomenson drops down to 12th. Slip and slide through the right-hander. The elevation. And just as you rode over the crest, you're into the braking zone. Maybe that unsettled him. Have a look at Noble, trying to fight his way through on the inside of Lavis. Poor old Brett Bradbury's about to be a sitting duck here. Lavis on the outside, Noble on the inside. It's all happening. Cito, the fastest car on the circuit. Daniel Carriassar was just elaborating on that. Poor old Josh Zuno's been sitting in here, hasn't got a bloody word in for the last half hour. And we will hear from him shortly. 7.25 minutes gone. Lavis to the inside of Russell. Russell's going to get the toe here from Bradbury. Look at poor old Brett Bradbury, the sitting duck. Noble looking for a way through. Can't find it. Russell gets across to cover off Bradbury. Noble's there on the outside. Fred Kahn also trying to find a way through. Nearly got into the side of Noble. Noble's going to get up on the outside to put himself on the inside of Bradbury on the exit of turn 1. Done. And Lavis is in there as well. Phil King's being passed by Glenn Cito on the inside, who also got Fred Kahn 2 for the price of 1. And poor old Adam Proctor, the last man standing for Locked Up SimSport, rounds out the top 8 at the moment. He got by Fred Kahn as well. Oh, Fred Kahn just got gobbled up in all of that.
Yeah, he took a little bit too much curb and lost that rear end. And, of course, momentum is key in these cars. Everyone else had a much better entry and exit into the corner, and they all overtook him. Let's also not forget, we are in the closing stage of this race too. But have a look at Seb Chapman. He is pulling all the stops, 219.43. So he's taking the fastest lap as it is. But he is down in 16th position with a 29.1 second gap to Ryan Tate. So unfortunately, given how many points are on offer with the last race, I think you're right, Zach. I think that is curtains closed for that advance.
That's really unlucky for Sam Chapman. What a shocker of a way to lose the championship. Caught up in 2 incidents, and both of them involved his teammate Chris Stark. The first one you saw live. The second one, of course, happened off camera. We saw Starkey, we didn't see Chapman, but all we saw was him plummet down the order. So there have been several pit stops in this race thus far. Jared Knight's the one that's parked up and said, you know what, I've had a gutful of this. So we'll see Jared Knight next term. We might see him have a crack in the wins and slicks later, I'm not sure. Philip Butler is there, having stopped for 1:15, 2:10 for Kevin Henderson. 1:11 for John Merritt. Watch for Merritt to come through from potentially as low as 19th on the grid next time out. It's 5.4 from Wood to Lavis. From Lavis back then to Ryan Tate, it's only 10 seconds. And that's second through 15th, covered by less than 10 seconds at the moment. Russell to the outside, gets by Lavis, another lap in the books. This is the start of lap 5. Noble wants the double toe, gets it, makes it work, goes to the outside. Brett Bradbury's going with him. From being the standalone man, the sitting duck a lap ago, Brett Bradbury's all of a sudden trying to factor in the fight. Phil King and also Glenn Cito side by side there for 6th and 7th. And just behind them is Proctor and Khan and Zamora. So it's a 9-car fight for second at the moment in the car race. These invert races, they can work one of two ways. They can wipe out the contenders, or they can produce an absolute instant classic. We're getting one of the later tonight, and how lucky we are to be witnessing this. Formula V at Mugello, the first time we've done it. It's a shame that we're not going to see the Vs back in a full-time capacity next term. But I tell you what, when they do come back on the schedule in Term 4 or Term 1 next year, whatever it may be, this track needs to be on the schedule. Noble's got his way to second. He's ahead of Russell and Lavis. Lavis at the moment not doing enough to cover off Glencito Riddell, but obviously with Chapman's misfortunes. Oh, Russell up the hill. Very nicely done on Noble. That opens up the door, potentially for Adam Lavis to have a crack down the inside. No, he tucks in and follows Noble through. Uh-oh, Zamora and Proctor gone. Exit stage left. Zamora and Proctor are gone. Zamora on the tow rope. Proctor drops to 14th. Two more contenders wiped out. Two laps to go at the line. Nick Wood's the leader, doing a beautiful job. Chris Stark back on the tow rope now as well. So Starkey's night may well be done. Phil Butler's going to go on through and move his way up into 19th. Look at the smoke out of the back of these things as they huff and puff under brakes. Main straight. 7-car fight for second. Russell leads Noble, Lavis, Bradbury, Riddell, Khan, King and Tierman is 5 seconds off the fight at the moment. Wayne Vizier's fighting for 10th with Kurt Nomenson and Brendan Nealon. That's important because of the invert that is available at the end of this race to the top 10. They might be 4 wide in a moment. Brett Bradbury's up there on the outside. Adam Lavis trying to move across to the inside. Aaron Russell and Chris Noble making work tough. The championship contender there and down the inside. Fred Khan.
How did they live?
I have no idea how they got away with that. They shouldn't have. They had no right to get away with that. Fred Khan trying to force the issue there. Now he's got Brett Bradbury for company. He lent some argy-bargy shoulder there to Brett Bradbury, and that allowed Phil King the opportunity to go through on the inside. There was definitely a little bit of elbow nudging going on there. Oh, Khan again, right onto the back of Lavis. He couldn't cut it any finer. Have a look at this again. Magnificent stuff. This is why we love our Formula Vs. It's magnificent. Unbelievable. Millimeters in this. Oh, perfectly done. Like you couldn't do it any better and get away with it, could you? Just extraordinary.
Like a jigsaw puzzle piece.
It's funny, I was only making that reference to somebody on a totally unrelated topic earlier in the day. Jigsaw puzzle pieces. Nick Wood, Aaron Russell, Chris Noble and Adam Lavis. Nick Wood's never had a cleaner, more comfortable and calm run to a race win in his life than what he's having here at the moment. In race 2 of round 10, a Spreyton side of Formula V, 6.8 to the good. Russell fighting for dear life with Noble, Lavis, Khan, King. Gut then back to Cito and Bradbury. Did something happen between those two whilst we're having a look at the replay of Fred Khan and Adam Lavis? Dino's dropped down to 7th with Brett Bradbury, and they've dropped off this battle pack right here and now. Russell goes deep to the outside. Back to the main straight we go. A 5-way fight for second, and we've got another last lap Trillo on our hands. Russell leads them down the main straight, weaves from left to right, almost out of bounds. Joseph Newgard and Marcus Ericsson style from the Indianapolis 500 last year. Down the main straight they go. Have a look at the C's part for Noble. Up the outside he goes. Lavis to the inside, moving across to cover up Fred Kahn. Fred Kahn says, no, excuse me, I'm coming through. And look up on the outside. Phil King's all of a sudden factoring in this. 4 wide they were momentarily there. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Fred Kahn to the inside. Aaron Russell's pushing him through. Chris Noble's there on the outside. Lavis has lost out completely, slipped back to 6th. Noble to 2nd on the inside of Kahn. Kahn won't force the issue on the inside into the right-hander, but gets across to cover off Aaron Russell. Another left-right sequence coming up. Russell wants to go down the inside this time behind Kahn and will do so. Russell to 3rd. Kahn's having none of that. Up the outside, back down the inside, back into position number 3 goes Fred Kahn now for Whiskey Business.
Phil King.
Off goes Kevin Henderson. Here comes Phil King. Door open for King to go down the inside of Russell, to drop the Novacastro into 5th, and he's having none of it. Beautifully done. Nick Wood's half a lap from home. Aaron Russell's fighting for 4th. He's lost out on Fred Kahn and Chris Noble, who are going to battle for 2nd and 3rd here. Adam Lavis needs to get on with it here. Needs to find a way by Aaron Russell and Phil King if he can. Maybe he's relying on a very good run onto the main straight. Fred Kahn and Chris Noble have been caught once more. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cover him by the length of a king-size blanket, ladies and gentlemen. Throw a handkerchief over them. Nothing in this. Noble. Kahn. 3 corners to go. Nick Wood's going to take an emphatic victory here. And a very commanding and comfortable one. Never a more leisurely drive to a race win in Formula V for that man. But look at the fight for 2nd. It's going to go right down to the line. We're ready with the photo finish once more. Kahn to the inside. Noble went very, very deep. Hung out to dry was Chris Noble. He's lost out to everybody bar Phil King and Adam Lavis. Checkered flag is out. Nick Wood's a race winner in Spreyton side of Formula V. Race to the line is on for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Fred Kahn's got it at the moment. Noble's pushing him through. Noble went for the lunge. Kahn got it. Kahn, Noble, Russell, Lavis and King. Lavis got back into the top 5. Cito in for 7th. Held off Brett Bradbury. Wayne Vizza. Brendan Nealon gets the invert. Kurt Nomenson missed out completely to Jason Seaman and Ryan Tate. Adam Proctor into 14th. Sam Chapman, 15th. And a championship defining moment once more. Oh. Have I got time to take a breath?
You do. You got 3 minutes because we got a warm up in between 2 and 3.
Bloody hell. It's off the chart. When they keep it clean, it's off the bloody chart. It is fantastic. That's why we love it, ladies and gentlemen. Simply doesn't get that much better than that on a Thursday night at this time on the platforms of GSRC anywhere. Oh, brilliant. Oh, Glorioski. Now, let's go around the grounds very quickly. Remind you that the NRL Under-19 State of Origin is on tonight. The New South Wales girls getting the job done 46-4 over the Queenslanders. The boys being led by New South Wales at the moment, 6-0, 13.5 minutes played. And, of course, we're on the countdown for Men's State of Origin next Wednesday night, Women's State of Origin decider next Thursday night. And you'll see it all live on the Nine Network around Australia, wide world of sports. The Olympics, boys, are just 5 weeks away as well. I can't wait. There's going to be many sleepless nights between now and the middle of August, let me tell you. Josh Zoino, since you're still here, and when we appreciate you stopping on by, mate, and spending some time with us. We barely see you these days, but the Enduro was run on Sunday from the Circuit de la Sarthe. It's a couple of weeks until the next one. How's everything in Enduro land at the moment, please?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet actually, Zach. We ran a really successful event actually. It was actually, I'm going to say, quiet for an enduro. There wasn't too many penalties to hand out. Everyone was on their best behaviour, and yeah, there was some great racing all the way up to the end. I think my teammate in the Aussie races, Stable Dave, managed to sneak into second. He managed to get one of the lads to stand in and drive for him in place of one of the boys being in hospital, and he did 5 hours and managed to somehow put it in second. So yeah, no, we were all over the moon, and yeah, it was a great day all in all.
Indeed it was. There are the updated standings here at the moment. So, Cito, Chapman and Lavis, all that's not really changed. Although the margin between Lavis and Chapman has tightened up. And of course, Cito and now has significant breathing space to play with going into this final race. In fact, I dare say that Cito's already got it wrapped up. He just needs to bring it home, doesn't he, to win this title. An extraordinary campaign. We weren't sure whether the absence of John Merritt would hamstring the Pulse Tuning stable at all or not, and it hasn't, because as you can see there, Cito's done a beautiful job. Tony Baker's inside the top 10 at the moment. Despite, I haven't called his name once tonight, have I? Tony Baker.
He's not on the grid.
It's not on the grid. I mean, Brendan Nealon's having an okay run. John Merritt's fighting his way back. Merritt could still finish in the top, 5? I mean, all you need is King and Noble to be wiped out at some point in this final race, and John Merritt could finish in the top 5 of the championship with a solid result here. But that last run probably didn't do him any favours whatsoever. Greg Heaney's about to drop by and have a chat to us. We've got him in the booth now. Greg, are you preparing for a run around Detroit in the wins and slicks, please?
I am at the moment. I'm just sitting here watching the numbers and listening to cars slam into the fence at turn 2, and Fred's in the other channel. He's like, hey, jump on the stream. He's like, is this stream? I was like, yeah. He goes, jump on the stream and watch how we come across the line on the first race. I happened to put it on as you guys did the replay of it, and I just watched the whole second race.
Yeah, mate, those guys are off the bloody chart at the moment, and we can't wait to see what they're going to do in race 3, and they're lining up for that now. Hey, good luck in Detroit. What's the field looking like, please?
Pretty close at the moment, except Jackson Rahana's running away with it again, as to be expected. Unfortunately, Aiden's not making it for us tonight because he's apparently got COVID.
Bugger.
But,
what about the size of the field, Greg?
About what's to be expected, because half the guys are over there in Mugello at the moment.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, good stuff. Thank you, mate. We'll let you go. Good luck with it.
No worries.
Ready to fire. Race 30, the final one of Spreyton Cider Formula V. The ultimate finale for what's been a terrific category on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. It's about to go into hiatus. We'll get the black armbands out in about 15 minutes' time. Beautiful start. 3 wide. Glenn Cena Riddell, champion-elect from 4th to 1st on the run to turn 1. Brett Brodbury's going with him, trying to force the issue, but look at the start from Brendan Nealon. Got pole, converted into second at the expense of only his teammate. The Pulse boys at 1 and 2, and Adam Lavis has got up to 4th. Can they all get through turn 3 cleanly? Yes, they can. A magnificent start from Cito. You wouldn't want to start a championship finale any cleaner, any better than that. Oh, what a magnificent jump. Night 4 of week 10 at turn 2 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And we're watching the final send-off for Spreyton Cider Formula V. It is the last edition of Open Wheel Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We've got Tin Tops returning to this night of the schedule. Next term, more on that a little bit later on. Let's enjoy this while it lasts. Side by side they go. Sam Chapman and John Merritt up the hill. Merritt's through on the inside. He's not going to make life very easy for Chapo here. He's going to make it as difficult as he possibly can. Merritt goes down the inside, goes to P11. Out wide was Wayne Visser. Fred Kahn's in there as well, so too Adam Proctor and Lane Thoburn. Kahn's missed out on the start, down 3 spots. Aaron Russell has got his way to second. Adam Lavis now under pressure from Brendan Nealon, but look at Cito, he's gone, 1.6 to the good. Magnificent start from Cito. Phil King, I should say, is side by side there with Nick Wood as well. Ryan Tate in there for good measure. Have a look at that. The full field all in the same shot. Enjoy that while it lasts. And we've got through, with the exception of Jason Tierman, we've got through the first lap unscathed. We started with 21. We've got 21 running at the line at the end of the opening lap. They're going to go 4 wide for the first time tonight. 4 wide at the line. Ryan Tate thought better of that, tucked back in. Chapman's trying to get down on the inside of Merritt. He's going to run out of real estate if he's not careful. Thankfully, the AstroTurf comes to his rescue there. So too the pit exit. 3 wide in behind. Nealon's there alongside Lavis. Russell's there trying to defend Lavis to turn 1. Merritt's going deep. Chapman going down on the inside. How they haven't wrecked yet, it's beyond me. Uh-oh, Ryan Tate's gone. They did wreck at 1. Ryan Tate and Brett Bradbury out of the fight. Throw a handkerchief over. Chris Noble all the way back to Nick Wood. That's 11 cars, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're looking at here at the moment. Noble's got a little bit of breathing space. He's trying to encourage these boys to chase after Glenn Cito. We're better working together than we are squabbling. Round the outside goes Chapman. Have a look at that. Bang on Adam Lavis. Capitalised. Pounce got him. The fight for second in the championship is those 2 cars right there. Phil King's going to wedge himself into the mix. Lavis around the outside. And King's got him done. Lavis forces the issue. Tries to get him back. Does so. 6th up the hill they go. Poor boy.
And Proctor as well.
Yep. Proctor capitalised in the fight there. So King's lost out twice on this lap. Both to Adam. And Lavis has got to be worried about the presence of Proctor there because he'll have a role to play in helping Sam Chapman at least secure second. Although, if you're not first, you're last in the words of the great Ricky Bobby. So, do they even worry about that right now? Chris Noble and John Merritt arguing over the same piece of real estate. Aaron Russell's got back to second. The gap to Cito's shrunk a little bit, down to 1.19. But they're not back in the tow range just yet. They have gapped. Chapman and Merritt and Noble and Russell have gapped Lavis, Proctor, King, Khan and Nealon. So that's unfortunate. Merritt down the inside.
Oh, watch Chapman here.
And watch Merritt. What about that for some slicing and dicing? Watch Noble down the inside. Who does Chapman get the toe with? He wants to go with Merritt and then wants to wedge his way through the middle on both Noble. No, he decides to go to the outside of the pair of them, and Aaron Russell's there as well. Uh-oh, 4 wide. When they tried that at Virginia, it didn't work. It's going to work here at Mugello. 4 wide. Salute, ladies and gentlemen. It looks just as spectacular with Formula V as it does on the Speedway. Down to turn 1 they go. Cito's got the advantage by 1.2 seconds at the moment. Chapman's going to go to second on the inside. If they work together, they'll catch Cito, but if they keep squabbling, they've got no hope. Merritt trying to fire it down the inside. Loses out to Noble. Noble gets up the outside, goes with Chapman. Russell tucks back in, and so too does Lavis. And all of a sudden, John Merritt's losing ground here. Merritt's losing time. And Cito's lead has gone out to 2 seconds. What the hell was that? It's now a 10-car fight, second through 11th for second in the car race. And any one of these blokes on their day capable of getting there. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, you can tell
So
Glenn,
the sprint feature.
you can tell Glenn's looking at that timer. You can see the from that back shot there was 4 cars, 4 wide. Would have looked like the US Army rocking up on him in the mirrors. Just absolutely spread as wide as they could be down that main straight. And it's funny because they're fighting, but they're still gaining some ground. There's almost like a mutual respect between them all.
Yeah, at one point or another, they've got to work as a train to reel in Cito. They won't reel him in completely if they keep squabbling like this. Cito's doing remarkably well to hold that advantage at 1.6, and we're only 7 minutes into the fight. There's 3 laps gone. There's 4 to go, Daniel, and also Josh Zuno. Nice to have you along. Thursday Night Motorsport platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. Don't forget to comment, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to join us and interact via the comments and let us know what you're enjoying most about this. The grand finale for the Vs, followed by the grand finale for the Super Formula Lights. Merritt pulls out of the draft, tries to get by Russell, won't, will end up getting swamped. If he stays there, Adam Lavis will make him pay. No, Merritt tucks back in and covers Lavis off. Very nicely done. Noble gets his way by Aaron Russell. Sam Chapman's there in second. Will Merritt make it 5 wide and a tick here? Come on, Merritt. Come on. 4 wide at the moment. We haven't gone 5 wide yet. Oh, by gee, we were close right then. But still, the squabble does not help them catch. Oh, no, there goes Fred Kahn and Phil King. Fred Kahn and Phil King are gone. No championship contenders lost in that. Fred Kahn and Phil King gone. They dropped down outside the top 10. They've saved it to a point because Kahn and King now are fighting for 10th with Chris Stark and Kevin Henderson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars in that view there. Brendan Nealon and Lane Thoburn have fallen off the pack. It's now 6 cars fighting for second. And they're still 1.3 off Cito. I think Cito's comfortable.
For now. The problem with Glenn at the front, though, is the fact that every time he comes up onto that main straight, 1.3 seconds is not far enough. If these guys play it right, they'll go 2 by 2. They'll draft all the way up to the top. Then they'll spread out. Usually Sam Chapman likes to go right side onto the grass.
Henderson and King have fallen off the road again. Henderson and King are off the road. So that's Phil King's second off-track excursion for this lap. And Hendo's been collected in all of that. Merritt goes up the outside to get by Sam Chapman. So he's playing the role as the teammate here because he's got both Chapman and Lavis behind him, and Chapman's got support from Adam Proctor. So poor old Adam Lavis is stranded at the moment in 7th.
So here's another place where you'd see normally 2 by 2, but John Merritt wants to split him. He wants to split him down the middle. Adam Russell's going to hold that inside line. Hopefully he doesn't kick out that rear end. He does it. Now it's going to be 2 by 2. You'll see this draft. Generally, they'll try and draft each other all the way. The gap is only 1.6. It looks like Adam Proctor doesn't want to do it either. 4 wide now.
And Chapman's hung up there on the inside with Adam Lavis. Sorry, no, Chapman's up on the outside on his own. Chapman might be able to go to 4th here, and he does. Who's that sitting duck on the outside? I'm just trying to work out whether that's Chapman or Proctor. I think it's Chapman up on the high side and Proctor tucked in behind Merritt. 4 wide for the 3rd consecutive lap. Noble holds on the inside. Russell. Merritt tucks in behind. Lavis goes through 2. It was Proctor. He's now behind Chapman and Lavis. So the 3... Oh, there goes Chapman! Goodbye! Championship gone. Chapman falls so agonisingly short. Have a look at this again from on board with his teammate. He caught the curb. He took an enormous chunk of that ripple strip and it bit him up, gobbled him and spat him out.
No one to blame but himself. It was unfortunate. He tried to take as much of a tighter angle as possible and the car just unsettled.
Cino's gone now too.
Yeah,
2.1.
2.1.
Forget about it. We're not. So for the second time tonight, our last lap thriller is going to come from the battle for the minors. They're not catching him. Merritt wants to make an issue of it. Has trouble doing that because he's got Noble up his outside, forcing the point. Oh, good work, John. Will Lavis go with him? What about Proctor? They don't have to worry about the championship now because where things stand, Glenn Cito's getting it wrapped up by a big margin.
Lavis will likely shoot up to P2 though, so Adam will want to make sure that he keeps this nice and clean for the rest of it because if he has an unfortunate incident just like Chapman did, then that'll be P2 slipping away from him.
2 laps to go, gentlemen. 2 extraordinary laps to end the campaign. And end a great chapter of Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport. We'll have the V's back at some point. But by gee, it's going to be sad to not have them here on a regular basis next season. Look at Adam Proctor. the road, the pathway just closed up on him and he couldn't find a way through past Noble and Russell. Has to tuck him behind. Russell sent it deep.
Oh, no!
Oh, Russell's gone.
And
Too
they
deep.
avoided him.
Too deep. Two went left and two went
That's
right. They still found a way to avoid him.
That's actually
And look who's
amazing.
second. And look who's second. John Merritt for a pulse tuning 1-2. 2.6 off his teammate, who they will not catch. Provided that Cito doesn't put a foot wrong, they're not catching him. John Simpson nailed the point. I don't think there is anything better than GSRC Championship Week. And we do it 4 times a year, and it doesn't get old. Chris Stark having an off-track moment, drops down to 16th. Kirk Nomanson 15th at the moment. Starkey's dropped further. Visser and Bradbury got by. Kevin Henderson out of business. Everybody else still running. So 20 cars still out there. Still going. Strong. With a lap and a half to go. And a 4-way fight for second. And you better believe they'll be 4 wide coming back down the main straight next time by. Noble to the inside of Lavis for third. If you're not enjoying this, go and check your pulse, ladies and gentlemen. The Strepsils will be getting a workout once we're done here, ready for wings and slicks, let me tell you. The last lap of the campaign is upon us. Here we go. Second last corner, penultimate lap. Cito's got this by 2.1 at the moment. Merritt under pressure with Noble up on the outside. Noble decides to follow him through. Merritt got across to cover the line and hold sway. No, look at that. Noble left the door wide open and Adam Lavis wasn't waiting for a second invitation. He pounced at the right time. Now, how long until we're 3, possibly 4 wide down the straight here? Merritt, second at the moment. And in behind him's just one big freight train. Noble pulls out to the left, goes up the outside, takes Lavis with him. Does Proctor want a piece of it? Of course he does. Let's go forward one more time. Lavis is going to go to second at turn 1. Noble's going to try and force the issue. Down the inside goes Noble. Lavis now gets hung out to dry. He's too far back. Noble will be able to cover that off as they get to turn 3. Does so. Noble's second for the moment. Merritt, oh, beautifully snuck in up there on the inside. Edged out Lavis. Look at Proctor getting hung out to dry. He had nowhere to go. He had to take evasive action there. We're riding on board with him right now. The final stages of the final lap of the final race of the campaign, ladies and gentlemen. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport, the Formula V's rocking and rolling right the way to the end. Glenn Cito-Riddell, 2.5 seconds to Chris Noble, the champion-elect in the lead for the second time tonight. He won race 1 by the skin of his teeth, and he's about to win race 3 by a country mile in comparison. Up the hill, Noble second, Merritt third, Lavis fourth. It's going to come back to that all-important run onto the main straight and the draft and slipstream opportunities that are associated with it, that are presented at the time. And who can pounce best? Who can capitalise when it matters most? Cito, 2.8 to Noble. Merritt down the inside. Can't get it done. Follows Noble through. Lavis fourth, Proctor fifth, the 2 Adams. 3.5 back to Sam Chapman, who has the fastest lap of the race. That's a consolation prize in this fight. 2:18.860. We haven't worried about the fastest lap. We've been more worried about the margins between the positions because that's been the focus point. They have been unbelievably tight tonight. Look at the big send from Proctor. Proctor down the inside from fourth. On the inside of Noble, Merritt and Lavis to go to second. The run up the hill onto the main straight. Glenn Cito-Riddell's your champion in Spreyton side of Formula V. Cito wins 2 of the final races of the season to get the job done. Well done, Pulse Tuning, do it again. Photo for second. Wow. Noble edges out Merritt. Noble edges out Merritt by the skin of his teeth. Proctor fourth and Lavis. Lavis in fifth. You wouldn't fairly believe it. Look at Proctor getting hung out to dry there. You did not want to go onto the main straight in the lead of that fight. and they lured Proctor into the trap and he fell for it. Noble goes second. Wow. Half a nose in that to Merritt, and then a good gap back to Proctor and Lavis. Between those four men, 1/10 of a second, in fact, barely that. That is ridiculous. Thoburn in for 6th. Chapman got back to 7th. Nealon, Tate and Khan in the top 10. Zamora, Butler, Nomanson, Vizza, Bradbury, Stark, Wood, Seaman and King, with Aaron Russell off the road on the run home, and he will finish down in 20th. Kevin Henderson will be 21st and not classified. And your champion is right there. His name is Glenn Riddell, and he deserves to enjoy the celebrations here. That was fantastic. Can't do it better than what he wanted to get on shore. He ended up stranded with nowhere to go in race 2, and he had to settle for, I think it was 4th in the end, 7th in the end, which put him 4th on the grid for this 3rd race. But winning by the skin of his teeth in race 1 and winning comfortably in race 3 and ticking the box, he needed to do it, because if he didn't have a clean run tonight in the same way that he didn't have a clean run last week or the week before, Chapman and Lavis would have had the opportunity to pounce. Results didn't fall the way of those two gentlemen either, and as a result, the baton is passed within the same stable from John Merritt, the prince, the mayor, the king, whatever you want to call him at Formula V in this part of the world, in this caper, in this league, on these platforms, to his teammate. So the team keep the trophy in the cabinet for a little while now, because we don't have a title defence next term for Glenn Riddell. Those margins are as accurate as we can get them until Adam Lavis does his tweaking, ladies and gentlemen, with the points matrix and system. 599 played 540 in the end, so Cito comfortably home to win his first Formula V title on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Hard to believe I'm saying that, but John Merritt has been the stalwart of Formula V for so long. So for Cito to win one, Pulse continue their domination, but Cito has picked up exactly where John Merritt needed him to in his absence, and done the team and himself very, very proud. Try and catch your breath after all of that. Jeez, there was so much going on. We suspected that would be the case, and I have to hand it to Sam Chapman. He'll come and have a chat to us shortly, I'm sure, but I have to hand it to Chapman. What an excellent choice. The suggestion was put up a couple of weeks ago. It was locked in that we would come to Mugello, and Daniel Correa-Sarit certainly did not disappoint.
No, we were on the fence. We are definitely now on the other side of that. This has to be a mainstay. I don't care. When Formula V comes back in full, Mugello has to be one. We've already agreed. Montreal is one.
Yep.
Mugello is now the other. Phillip Island, yes, of course. And it's weird, right? Because we would expect Phillip Island to be the grand final. But I'm thinking, Mugello's right up there.
Indeed. We've lost Josh Zuno for the moment. He's gone to race control. He's there with Sam Chapman and Joe Baldwin and Sam Strobe. We'll hear from those guys a little bit later on, I am sure. However, the champion is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and it's rare that we get a chance to have a chat to him on these platforms, but it's the second time this season, I think, that he's dropped by for a chat on a Thursday night, and he does so not just as the round winner, but as the champion as well. Glenn Riddell, well done, my friend. You keep the trophy in the Pulse stable. When John Merritt up and said, look, I'm not going to be able to commit to a title defence, you took up the mantle, mate, and you've done him and yourself proud. Well done.
Yeah, thanks heaps, Zach. Just thought I better pull my finger out and do the full season, and it worked out really well. It was a really close competitive season up the front. And yeah, I guess we all had our bad luck and good luck along the way. But it was really enjoyable. Thursday nights are always fun with the bigs.
You needed to buy a little bit of luck, mate, after the last 2 weeks. No better time to do it than the championship finale. 2 race wins in all of that. And you just had to fight for survival and keep your nose clean in the second race, and you were able to do that, and you still came home in 7th.
Yeah, race 1 was awesome. That sort of set me up. And then race 2, like you said, was all about survival. I was being super careful. I let a couple of guys go at one point. Just didn't really want to get involved. So, which I don't like driving like that. I prefer to race, you know. But I guess in the past I've tried to do my usual thing, and then every now and then it sort of bites you in the rear end. So I thought, no, I'll just be smart and I'll just hang at the back of that pack. And yeah, that last race I just managed to get that little bit of a lead at the start, and they were right on the edge of getting the slipstream. So I guess a little bit of battling helped me, and then in the end I was able to get away a little bit more. So I was quite lucky in that last one. They probably should have caught me, realistically.
Yeah, they probably should have, but they were too busy squabbling and showing off going 4 wide down the main straight. Put it into perspective for me, mate. The success that you've enjoyed on these platforms in the past, where does this stack up?
Well, I don't think I've ever done a full season in just about anything, to be honest. I always miss rounds here and there, so I don't think I've ever really even got a top 3, I don't think, in any series. So I just sort of get on when I can, have a bit of fun. So, but yeah, it was good to commit to this one and come out on top. I mean, a podium, first, second, or third would have been good because...
Well, that's right.
Yeah, it was super competitive the whole season between a lot of the guys up the front, and obviously on the points, me and Chapo and Mav were seesawing with the lead sort of along the way, depending on how we went at each particular round.
Indeed, mate. Just stay with me a moment here because I just want to let everybody know at 1:15, so we're just coming up on 6:30 Eastern Standard, sorry, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Western Standard Time, 10:30 in New Zealand, and of course we're just coming up to the top of the hour, 8 o'clock in Central Parts, being the Northern Territory in South Australia. So at 8:15 in South Australia and the Northern Territory, 6:45 in Western Australia, 8:45 here on the East Coast, and of course 11:15 in New Zealand. We'll take you to the Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Circuit in Michigan for the final round of the Wings and Slicks. Race 1 getting underway at that point with a 3-race program ahead of us there tonight. So we've only got to wait about 15 minutes for that. As a big night, a huge night of motorsport continues on our platforms, a 6-race program. We don't get to do it very often. We're going to enjoy it while it lasts. Because we've got a new look to next season, Cito. So that means for the moment, mate, you are going to be the incumbent champion in Formula V, and until such time as it's back in a full championship capacity. So that must be nice to be able to hold the title and hold it for a little bit longer than just the usual 12 weeks.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll just call myself double champ, will I? Yeah, that's all right. I mean, V's been getting good numbers, especially in the second half of the season. I think it started off like maybe a few less than what I thought, but it's built nicely as the season's gone on. To actually, like the second half of the season, we had some really big competitive fields, which obviously made the full reverse grid in Heat 2 a bit of a handful at times, but I don't mind it. It adds to the challenge, you got to be smart as well as fast. So, and then also have a bit of luck along the way, obviously.
Absolutely, you do. And I was going to say, Mugello, remarkably clean by Formula V standards. The racing, just extraordinary. What are your impressions on this circuit, mate? Because we haven't utilised it terribly much this season, but it is one of the new ones on the stable, and we're already declaring that it has to stay on any Formula V calendar going forward because we thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, like any of these fast-flowing tracks, it's not the most exciting track when you're just doing laps, but obviously the racing is incredible with the slipstreaming and 4 wide. I was looking in the rearview mirror on that last race and looking, they're going 4 wide, and I'm like, yeah, go 4 wide, boys, So it was, and I mean, places like Phillip Island as well, they just create that draft pack, so the racing's always super intense.
We were anticipating that it might have been 5 wide at one point, but I don't think we got there. Well,
it might have been at some point. It'd be worth having a look at the replay. Yeah, so, I mean, this track would be awesome in a high-powered, high-grip car, aero car, something like that. So I'll have to have a bit of a fang around in something a bit quicker and, see how it goes.
Have you had a look at the schedule for next season, mate, and the fact that the Wings and Slicks are going to Tuesday night? There's an introductory formula accompanying that, of course, and one of our old favourites is being joined by LMP2 on a Thursday night. LMP2 in the entree in the Downforce Legends, and then of course into the Porsche Cup. Any of next season's schedule taking your fancy at the moment?
Oh, just as usual. I'll just see where I'm at, I guess, during the week, and try and pick maybe a couple to focus on if I can. The IndyCars on a Friday night will be all right. Hopefully we get good numbers because,
Yes.
you know, depending on what if I'm away for race meetings and things like that with the karting. But the Friday nights when they did that in the past was good fun. Although I sort of bypass the ovals. I'm not much of an oval guy, so I'll probably just do the road course rounds if I can.
Well, I haven't seen the schedule yet, but yes, I know that there'll be a mix of both, 5 and 5.
Yeah. LMP2s, I think it's the sort of car that you've got to do a lot of laps in, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to commit to the time to it.
Yep.
If it's open setup as well, because the setups are quite complex on those cars. So I certainly wouldn't have the time to really troll through a whole heap of sets and play with it. So yeah, look, I'll just have a look after the school holidays and see how I go.
I think you're talking down the ovals. I heard you love the ovals, Cito.
No.
I can only turn right, so I'm in a bit of trouble.
Oh, brilliant. Hey, Cito, stay there with me because we'll bring you, since he's already invited himself into the conversation, we'll bring your teammate in right now, John Merritt. There was a big vacant gap at the start of the season, mate, with your trusty little Formula V not on the grid. But what a way for the stable to step up, but particularly Cito to step up in that absence to at least keep Formula V in the team's trophy cabinet. And of course, your run home was nothing short of fantastic as well, except for race 2 tonight. That left a little bit to be desired, John.
Yeah. Someone said, I think Sam in race control said it was a seniors moment, which was probably pretty accurate. So, no, congratulate. I just came in to congratulate Cito. You know, he held the team cup up, and mate did a stellar job. So, no, it was fantastic.
And to be honest, I mean, anybody else in the category would have been looking at this season as probably their only opportunity to dethrone you. So, I mean, the fact that they've successfully taken the title away from you, but not from the team, I mean, there'll be a few people ruling what might have been. But as Cito said, sometimes you just got to ride your luck in this caper, and everybody's had their fair share of good and bad luck this season, mate, and you know what that's all about.
Yeah, there was plenty of that. You know, you mentioned race 2. I was sort of getting squeezed and just had a brain fade. Thought I was a gear higher than I was, and it wasn't the Pulse Motors' fault. I'll confirm that, Cito. It was seniors moment for JM. So, but no, it was great racing. You know, the rounds I was able to do, it was great racing with the guys, and it's always clean and respectful. But you know, everyone's just got that much quicker too, so it sort of brings it to a new level every season, which is great.
What about you, mate? Where are we going to see you next season in terms of what nights, what races, what categories, what's tickling your fancy?
I must say I haven't really seen the schedule yet, Zach. So, mate, have a look, and you know, I'd certainly try and make it whenever I can. So, you know, whenever I'm available and around, I'll jump in and enjoy some competition.
Indeed. Of course, for those of you tuning in at home, if you weren't with us on Monday night or Tuesday night, we will run you through what's coming up for the rest of, for Term 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday night at the end of this broadcast. So do stick around for that. Mondays and Wednesdays have remained unchanged, unsurprisingly, but everything else has been flipped, swapped, musical chaired, if you like. So there's a fair bit of new and a fair bit of old on the way next term. John, Glenn, congratulations, boys. Well done. The championship is Pulse Tuning's once more in Formula V. You've mastered that discipline. We can't wait to see Formula V back on the schedule somewhere down the line, and also looking forward to seeing what you two ply your trade at for next term. Quickly, though, what's on the agenda for the next couple of weeks while we'll take a break? Start with you, Cito.
Not a whole lot, to be honest. Just the usual, working, race meetings and things, and I'll probably have a break from the sim, to be honest. So we'll just jump on, do a bit of fun stuff every now and then.
How many karting race meetings have you got coming up? What's busy? What are the big events?
It's a bit of a quiet period at the moment, just a few club meetings and things like that, but we've got a few big ones coming up. So probably the main one in 6 weeks is City of Melbourne titles at Todd Road.
Yep.
It's always a big event, so I'm myself aiming for that. Try and defend title from last year in the Masters division with the old fellas. Seeing that I'm an old fella now.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And what about you, Hot Lap?
Mate, probably a break and join Serdo to work on a bit of I-rating in the officials. He loves them, so we might go round and round and see if we can chip away at that and have a look at the schedule and make some plans for next season.
All right, boys, go celebrate. Well done. Thanks for that.
Thanks
Zach. Thanks for the broadcast. Appreciate it, mate.
No, I love it. Mate, I will have a black armband on here week 1 of term 3 because we don't have Formula V on a Thursday night. I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Thank you, boys. Appreciate that. Let's press on. Chapo, unlucky, mate. What might have been, firstly, caught up in somebody else's incident in race 2. I didn't see what happened in race 3, but race 1, unfortunately, you and your own teammate bang wheels.
Well, yeah, after I was rear-ended, so pretty disappointing night, unfortunately. This 7-second delay is on, right?
No.
Oh, it's not? Okay,
No
oh,
7-second delay.
jeez. All right. Okay, well, be careful there, Dan. Yeah, no, pretty rubbish night all in all. The pace was there. I was right up there. Pole, that sort of thing.
That was a great lap in pole.
A bit of mischief race 1, and it all fell apart from there. Pulling 3 wides and that sort of thing. So yeah, disappointing, but congratulations to Grant. He did a brilliant job all season. Was able to bring it home.
It's always difficult, isn't it, mate, when there's 3 in contention and it all hinges on one night, 3 races, and we know how tight this is. It is a lottery. It's a bingo sort of setup at the best of times, and it just wasn't to be for you.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I've got to work out this. It's becoming a curse now, the bridesmaid curse. So I've got to work that out. I might have to actually get to a point where I'm actually leading in the points going into the final rather than trying to catch up. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, it was a good season nevertheless. We all had fun. It was definitely challenging with the 4 reverse grids and that sort of thing, which probably got more of the hang of towards the end of it. But yeah, just didn't fall my way tonight.
Indeed. Now, and well done, we must say, on the selection of Mugello as a racetrack, because it's provided 3 spectacular races for us tonight. How are you feeling about the fact that, I don't think we've had a chance to talk to you yet about this, how are you feeling about the fact that Formula V is not going to be a mainstay next season? Yes, we are going to see it pop up in a couple of races on a Tuesday night, but it's no longer going to be a mainstay. It's sad to see it put on hiatus for a little bit.
Yeah, of course. It's sad to see it put on hiatus. I love my Formula V and I love watching your calls as well, the Formula V. So it's going to be a bit of a different Thursday night. But yeah, I mean, it's probably due a rest every now and then. The Formula V. Look, as much as I love it, it's it can get a bit sweaty if you've always got it on. So yeah, we'll try that. I love the idea of the intro formula where we're swapping different cars, throwing skippies and Fords and F4s and that sort of thing into it as well. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, well, obviously sad to see you go.
All right, mate. Hey, we'll let you focus on the wins and slicks, the Super Formula Lights. We're riding on board with you at the moment. Good luck in qualifying. Let's have a chat at the end.
Cheers, mate.
There he is, Sam Chapman. And quickly to Curtin Overton, who's also out there plying his trade tonight, sitting 23rd on the grid at the moment. Talk to me about Formula V, mate. By gee, you're in the thick of it. A couple of moments, but a couple of really good battles along the way.
Yeah, no, it was a good night for me, actually. I didn't mind it at all. I didn't do enough practice for Mugello. I focused more on Detroit here today, doing my laps. Just try and keep it out of the fence, really. That was my main thing. Practicing to keep it out of the fence, which I still struggle at. Haven't quite worked that one out yet, so hopefully I can do it for the rest of the sprints.
Hopefully so, mate. In the end, though, at least on the Mugello circuit, I believe you finished all 3 races. Only had, I think we saw 1 slide from you. It happened on broadcast, so we caught that live. But it wasn't too costly. You seem to be comfortable there fighting with 2 or 3 drivers at any given time for track position.
Yeah, on broadcast, thankfully you didn't catch my lap 1 spin in heat 1 that kind of killed me and Wayne and put us both in the pit lane. But
we didn't see
thankfully that didn't get caught on stream, and it was just a overdrive into the race, trying to make up positions, thinking I could go a bit quicker, and binned it.
And what are your aspirations and expectations here in Detroit?
Finish the races. That's the big one for me.
All right, very nicely done. We've spoken to you all week, mate. So there's nothing left to ask at the moment. Go and enjoy Wings and Slicks. We'll chat to you at the end.
No worries. Thank you.
Oh boy, Josh Zoyno's here as well. We're not going to take a break because, as you can see, cars are already on circuit. We're about 2.5 minutes away from getting underway with race 1 of the night, the season finale for the Spreyton Cider Super Formula Lights. We couldn't do Thursday night motorsport, let alone any of it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this enormous week of virtual motorsport continues. But, of course, the focus has very much been tin tops up until tonight. Open wheel is the focus for tonight. Spreyton Cider Thursday night motorsport. The grand finale of all grand finales coming up. Spreyton Cider, Waste Options, Orbic Australia, Lobesy Racing, M-Wave Australia and Flash Graphics. We appreciate their support throughout the course of the season. This is night 4 of 5. Yes, broadcast 5 nights of grand final week for you, ladies and gentlemen. Week 10, turn 2 on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. It is terrific to have you along for the ride. Josh, what were your thoughts on all of that now that I've got an opportunity to catch your breath and let someone else get a word in?
Yeah, no, putting the V's aside, I think we're going to have a few sad people around the crowd, but you know, I think next season, moving into the LMP2s, we're going to have a lot more happy faces, and I think it's about time that we totally spiced it up, and that's a bit left field, the old LMP2s. So it'll be interesting. It's got a great rain model as well, so hopefully iRacing. Hopefully iRacing does it justice and lets us run rain without everyone crashing.
Actually, did I see right that you guys had some rain in the Toyotas and the production cars last night? Very nice.
Oh, it was heavy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
no, because I happened to, I was sitting on the lounge watching Home and Away and happened to see you guys go live, and I saw the rain come in and I was like, oh, that'll be spicy. Now, under 19 state of origin at the moment. Women's match was won by New South Wales comprehensively, but the men's match being led by New South Wales 35 seconds into the second half, 10 points to 6 over Queensland. And of course, the real thing back at the Melbourne Cricket Ground next Wednesday night, and of course up to Townsville for the women's decider on Thursday night. There's the lay of the land, ladies and gentlemen. That's our playground for the next 90 minutes or so. 3 races on the program here. 12 o'clock in the afternoon circuit time. That's about to be updated because obviously the qualifying server is about to end, so just bear with us here as that updates in a matter of seconds. The circuit itself, 3.76 kilometres. The old home of the IndyCar Detroit Grand Prix, of course, on the Belle Isle streets in Detroit, Michigan. And we've updated to 12:23 in the afternoon, June 22, 2024. 26 degrees the ambient, 42 on track, 46% humidity and partly cloudy conditions there. The wind, very much a nor'easter at the moment at 55 degrees there, and it's 18 kilometres an hour in that. The front row of the grid is Jackson Ray Hunter and Brett Barker. The second row is Guy Leach and Jared Knight. The third row, yes, have a look at Jackson. He's ready to rock and roll. Adam Hayne and Todd Hayne on the third row. Adam Lavis, John Baldwin, the fourth row. Good evening to you, mate. Just focus on the task at hand, please. Matt Schmidtke and Paul Wilson from the 5th row. From the 6th row, David Baz and Trent Allen. 7th row, Adam Proctor, David Christensen. 8th row, Sam Chapman, Josh Zoyno. So Zoyno's going to have a run from the commentary box. So that'll be interesting to get some expert comments from him as we go. Peter Edwards and Greg Heaney from the next row there. Mark McNamara, Dave Oliver, Chris Stark, Brett Bradbury, Wayne Vizza, Eduardo Zamora, Kurt Nomenson and Parietta Starkus. Now why, Zoyno, you might be able to help me out here. It says you're on the grid, but I don't think you are because there's 2 P16s there. What's going on, please?
Well, fun fact, Joe said he wasn't going to make it for the start, so I was going to stand in for him doing race controlling, so I joined as a driver and disqualified myself.
Oh, okay, copy that. All right, very nice. Dear, oh dear. So we will have Josh in the commentary box, but not on board. That's a shame. We haven't done any in-race reporting for a while. That's probably a good thing. The Wings and Slicks Championship being led at the moment. We don't have Aiden Luthwaite on the grid. 451 for Jackson Rayhana, 363 for Mark Gomez. And then, of course, back to Aiden Luthwaite, 320, Adam Lavis, 319, and David Baz, 311 points. So it's all one-way traffic tonight for champion-elect Jackson Rayhana. Ready to fire. The first of three for grand final night, Wings and Slicks from the streets of Detroit to get us underway. This first race over 15 minutes. And it's a clean start from the champion-elect. Leads Brett Barker and Guy Leach to turn one. Can everybody scramble their way through the first sequence of corners? It looks like they've made a pretty even, pretty clean start thus far. And the field makes their way down. Pete Edwards opted to start from pit lane. Has come out in 21st spot. Greg Gahini, Brett Bradbury and Wayne Visser in trouble early on, but everybody else away safely. Rayhana, Barker, Leach, Knight, Hayne, Lavis, Hayne, Schmidtke, Baz and Wilson, the top 10. Now, it's interesting to point out, Jackson Rayhana in the 57, the champion-elect. No Mark Gomez on the grid. No Aiden Luthwaite on the grid. So I think there's less than 132 points on offer tonight. So I'm pretty sure Rayhana's already got the job done just by turning up and starting. I'm pretty sure the champion has already been been ratified. I don't think that's going to change. So this may be a case of watching three dead rubbers here, Monday night style, Matty Dench GT3 style, but that's okay. And might have already, yes, the champion-elect may have already actually locked it up and secured it last week without us knowing, because we just simply didn't know whether Mark Gomez was going to be here or whether Aiden Luthwaite was going to be here. But the fact that they're not opens the night up quite nicely for Jackson Rayhana, releases the pressure on him. Jared Knight we're running on board with. He's chasing Guy Leach on the run down to turn 3. Down the inside, wants a piece of it, and Guy Leach was happy to let him through. Very nicely done. David Baz has got 2 for the price of 1, moves through into 7th place on Todd Hayne, Matt Schmidtke. And Todd Hayne still trying to force the issue there. In 8th, but can't get it done. Baz holds on to 7th for now. Just having a look down through the order. David Baz is 5th in the championship. Guy Leach is 6th. So those guys stand to benefit from the absence of Aiden Luthwaite and Mark Gomez tonight. Remembering that there are extra points on the line because it is a super sprint format. A 3-race program. So a 15-minute race followed by a 20-minute race followed by a 35-minute race, ladies and gentlemen. Same format as we've seen for the Porsches on a Thursday night in the past. Same format as we will see from the Porsches when they return to the server next term.
So other than that earlier incident with Greg Heaney, Brett Bradbury and Visser, it's been pretty clean so far. There was an incident there for Adam Proctor and Trent Allen, but from everyone at the front, nice and steady there. 120.8 from Rayhana, fastest lap thus far. And
any chance we can actually have a look at that incident involving Greg Heaney, mate? We didn't see it.
Can. Let's have a look. See if we can go back here. So this is off the start line.
Typical start line madness in Detroit. Yeah, bang.
Yeah.
See you later. Got a helping hand. Oh,
ooh, that's like
ended up being a 4-car incident.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Where yeah. And then Adam Proctor had his own little incident here, so it looks like there was a bit of a turn 1 issue. And as his namesake is, gave it the full beans right into the wall. There we go.
There's the wheel. How's the new damage model? Isn't that looking good?
It is great. And then last but not least, Trent Allen coming through the second sector here. Looks like he's going screaming down into the 300, the 200, the 100, and into the wall. Oh, luckily into the escape road, actually.
Yeah, and he went about, I think he got on the anchors about 100 metres too late in the piece there, because as you can see, he's about 100 metres off the road. That's unlucky for Trent Allen, but at the front, it's still Jackson Rayhana, 1.7 back to Brett Barker. So we're not seeing much in the way. Oh, Paul Wilson gets a 10-second penalty for undue caution, causing contact with John Baldwin on lap 1. And into the pits comes Jared Knight. So already some pit lane activity underway here. Pit stops probably weren't expected in the first 2 races, but obviously there might be some damage there for Jared Knight for him to sort out as a result. Here's Paul Wilson in 10th place. Invert top 10 for the second race, folks. So Paul's in the invert spot at the moment. And that will be when things liven up around here, because there will actually be the potential for some overtaking and some carnage. The field's already pretty well spread out, unless you are Sam Chapman, Matt Schmidtke, Paul Wilson and David Christensen. This battle we're looking at here, the 4 of them are fighting over the same piece of real estate. John Baldwin's got Dave Oliver for company. There goes Paul Wilson down the outside. Wilson looking to go to 9th on Schmidtke. Can he get it done? Yes. And does so nicely. Holds it tough.
Oh my!
Did so very bravely, very boldly. Well done, Paul Wilson. That's good stuff.
Some night fish racing there.
Ballsy for this time of the night. This early in the race one.
It is. Also, I just need to mention this. Jeff, relay, if you're listening, which you're not, but if you are, please take it back to Belle. Nobody likes the new one. I get it. It drives around your building, and it's great and all, but it sucks. Sincerely, an IndyCar fan who likes Belle.
I don't think... Oh, look at Paul Wilson still under pressure here. Through turn 2. Don't come together, boys. That's the way. Wilson goes back to 10th. Schmidtke goes back to 9th. Christensen's in there as well. Will Christensen have a look down on the inside? Yes, he will. On the inside of Wilson on the run down to turn 3. Can't get it done. Wilson hangs tough. Oh, no. More trouble up ahead here. Is that Greg Keeney just letting everyone through because he's a lap down? Yes. Greg's just happily letting everybody go. Eduardo Zamora still showing on pit lane as well, and has been for about 3¼ minutes. I don't think, just by the by, gents, that that's going to be the biggest gripe IndyCar fans have with IndyCar in the next 12 months or so. But, yep, the move to downtown, yeah, it's not doing me any. It's not giving me any incentive to drop. Oh, hang on. Josh Zoynos just sent me a message and said he's going to leave us, so we're not going to have these insights for the rest of the evening. That's unfortunate. Thanks, mate. I've just got your message there. Something's come up at his end, but that's okay. We'll catch up with Zoyno next season. We thank him for all of his tireless work throughout the course of this season. Yeah, the Detroit thing, I mean, I watched the replay a couple of weeks ago. There wasn't enough incentive for me to get up and watch it live, unlike the Indianapolis 500, of course, a week earlier, which was nothing short of spectacular. But when it comes to IndyCar next season, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be enticed to get up and watch the Indy 500, because the great Lee Diffie won't be calling it. He's being retained by NBC to look after some other sports and motorsport coverage that they've got, but the IndyCar is on the move, on the hop, skip and jump over to Fox. It'll be just the 3rd different network to host coverage of the Indianapolis 500 in the United States. I mean, we've already had a few different platforms show the Indy 500 here in Australia over the years. But yes, the Indy 500 and the rest of the IndyCar series going to Fox over-the-air television over there in the United States, which is a big deal because it's not behind a paywall. Every race on Fox. Not sure yet if that's a win for the sport. We'll wait and see. There's a lot of people saying, oh no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, because of the network's NASCAR coverage and what the pundits have and what the couch critics and what the fans of the sport have made of that over 20 odd years. But yeah, they're going to have, the network will have both the Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500 on the same channel next year. Which is great for them from a promotional standpoint, but IndyCar will have a different sound and feel and look to it next year without Lee Diffie commentating it. But you can look forward to hearing him commentate NBC's portion of NASCAR Cup races, so looking forward to that. But yeah, big changing times there. Oh, Todd Hayne locks it up and clouts the wall on the exit of turn 3. And he got it again. And I know, Daniel Correa, that you'll have your own views on that. So will everyone else around Australia. But yeah, there weren't too many. I didn't see too many positive comments, apart from the fact that it's all on network television, and that comes with its own benefits with the US audience. I didn't see too many other positive comments out of the announcement from IndyCar last week of not just their calendar, but also their broadcast arrangement for next year.
That's exactly right. Fox is, again, if we just use their NASCAR broadcast as an example,
Yep.
I'm not hopeful. All you're gonna hear is what's that song? The
Yep.
the one they always go to ad break. It's got the guitar, it's going to be that for the entire race, and they'll just go side by side, and I'll have to hear something about Liberty Mutual Insurance or whatever it was. That's all I remember from the NASCAR broadcast. I want to bring up one thing though. So Stan currently hold the right to the IndyCar for Australia. And I decided to subscribe to them at least for a month because I wanted to catch up on some IndyCar, but then I also wanted to see Le Mans, and they had Le Mans.
Yep.
But what I don't understand is how can you advertise that you have the WEC on your platform, but the only race you have is Le Mans?
No, you're wrong, because they have shown the other 3 races so far this year. Yeah.
All right, but you can't replay them.
You can't.
No, because the only ones that come up for replay are Le Mans and the 2023 races.
I'll look into that. That is interesting, because normally, yeah, you can do it with IndyCar. You can go and have a look at replays.
Yes, IndyCar, yes, but not with WEC.
And it's interesting too, because obviously the TCR World Tour was on the platform.
I found that there too, that's right.
You can go back and watch the Australian races from last year, even though they were broadcast by the platform. You can't then go and have a look at other Speed Series events because of the change in rights agreements there. So it's funny how that works too. But yeah, they've also picked up GT World Challenge Europe, which is interesting. A very interesting left field purchase. Trying to maybe keep motorsport fans around for a little bit longer. Oh, trouble! Middle of the road. Who was that?
Damn Chapo.
Chapo, come on, mate. Come on. What's going on here? Chapo's had a lose. Mid-road. Oh, the bump in the road gets another one. And every time. Oh, boy. Let's go. We've got David Christensen there at the moment. We're on lap 9. Jackson Rayhana's about to come back to the line. He'll get 3 laps to go, I would imagine. Just having a look at where this is going to match up time-wise. If we can find Rayhana, please. Daniel, let's go to Rayhana. Here he is, coming around start-finish line. He's got 2 minutes 50 on the clock. He's got, he'll get, with that being a 1 minute 20.086, he's winding the wick up now. He's having fun. He's gone faster again. That'll get him 3 laps, but 1 minute and 10 of overtime as well. So there will be 12 laps here, but it will require 1 minute plus of overtime in this opening race. That's the one thing I hadn't got back to yet was the Zaculator. Just reminding everybody of where we are time and lap wise. There is Adam Proctor. Oh, into the wall big time. And the YouTube account of Jody Baldwin, of course, it'll be Joe from Race Control chiming in. No Gomez, no Luthwaite means that Baz and Lavis are battling for the championship minor placings. Paul Wilson having a moment, and so too Kurt Nomensen. But one thing I like about Kurt, though, is he doesn't give up. He still just soldiers on as best he can. Keeps it on going. But there is a tale of walking wounded in pit lane right now. Eduardo Zamora's been there for 10 minutes. Mark McNamara. Oh, geez. Jared Knight got caught up in that one. And that car's on its lid. Who was that on their lid? Was that...
I think it was McNamara.
So there's Adam Hayne coming through. We've got... We've had Paul Wilson in pit lane at the end of lap 9 for a quick, fast repair. Dave Oliver's had to come in. Jared Knight's had to come in, and so too Pete Edwards. He started from pit lane. He's moved his way up 3 spots from where we're supposed to start to where he is now in 13th place. Kurt Nomensen's made his way to pit road. So too Adam Proctor and Eduardo Zamora. Mark McNamara has come in and grabbed a fast repair and left again after 9 laps. Can't wait to see how Champion Elect carves his way through in race 2 from 10th on the grid. Yeah, exactly. Will he play it safe, or will he try and wrap this up with a clean sweep, cement the statement, put the icing on the cake, all that jazz? Jackson Rayhana's got a lap and a half from home. He leads by 6 seconds. It was a statement that he made last week, how much he loves this circuit that just put a dagger in the heart of everybody else that had desires or hopes or aspirations or dreams of potentially succeeding here tonight. Good luck stopping that bloke. In the meantime, that's Greg Heaney having another off-track excursion, clouding the concrete. And that's the thing, this circuit is a concrete canyon. There ain't much in the way of sympathy waiting around here. White flag in there, one to go. Got there with about 7 seconds to go. So Ray Hana leads. There are just 16 cars left on the lead lap, but that's about to be 15 because Paul Wilson's going to be put a lap down by Jackson Ray Hana. Pete Edwards is now on pit road, having been caught up in an incident. Wayne Visser and Greg Heaney got back out on the circuit, but they're a lap down. Kurt Nomenson, Trent Allen, Adam Proctor and Eduardo Zamora still sitting on pit road. They may as well all just stay there because they'll get a chance to reset very, very shortly. Adam Hayne in 11th, being passed by Sam Chapman. Now that's important because that's for the invert spot. The invert pole position. Jared Knight's going to get a 15-second penalty. It was Mark McNamara that he got into the side of. So a 15-second penalty coming the way of 90. Chapman's been relegated to 11th once more. The fight for the invert is on. Adam Hayne and Sam Chapman chasing John Baldwin. I don't know if they're going to catch him. At the front, in the meantime, it is Jackson Ray Hana, the champion-elect, making a statement here. Victory in race 1 on the streets of Belle Isle. Did a nice job of it too. Beautifully done, Jackson Ray Hana. And that is, at this point, as we say, just icing on an already prepared cake as the champion. He's now, if he didn't have it secured already, he certainly does now. Brett Barker in for second ahead of Guy Leach, David Baz, Adam Lavis, Todd Hayne, Nat Schmidtke, David Christensen, John Baldwin and Sam Chapman's got back by Adam Hayne. Now, I think there might have been an incident here because Hayne's dropped significantly by about 8 seconds in the last short while, and Chapman's come through in 10th. What has happened here? Oh no! Hayne had got by Chapman, was out after Baldwin, and has let 10th slip out of his grasp. Sharpo against the invert, the first bit of luck he's had tonight. I hate to say it, but it is true.
Yes, it is. A very rough Formula V session.
If you're just joining us, make sure when the broadcast is available for on-demand playback later tonight, tomorrow morning, make sure you go back and watch the 3 races of Formula V from Mugello because they were off the chart. Whew, catch your breath, everybody. How about that? Magnificent stuff. Well done, one and all. Sam Chapman and John Baldwin will... Oh, no. Kurt just admitting his guilt, his involvement in the Pete Edwards incident. I've accidentally murdered him, he says. Let's have a look at what's coming your way. Sam Chapman and John Baldwin on the front row for this second of 3 races tonight. 20 minutes the journey here. The clocks move forward to 12:45 in the afternoon. 20 km/h winds. 43 degrees on-track temperature at the moment. 26 the ambient. That wind still hovering in a nor'easterly direction. Todd Hayne, Adam Lavis, 3rd row. David Baz, Guy Leach, 4th row. Brett Barker, Jackson Ray Hana, 5th row. No pit stops expected here. So anything you do on the circuit, you're going to have to earn through merit and through attrition around you and not through strategy. Set to go. The rest of the field lining up. We're ready to fire. Off, away, green and go. Clean start for Sam Chapman. Ray Hana's made a good start. Already through into position number 9 there on the inside. You'll watch him go. Oh, trouble behind. Jeez, Guy Leach forcing the issue down on the run. Oh, and Brett Barker getting airborne. Rayhana's moved up to 9th. Next target, Adam Lavis. Sam Chapman leads John Baldwin away. Matt Schmidtke got the jump on David Christensen. Todd Hayne, David Baz. Guy Leach, Adam Lavis, Jackson Rayhana and Adam Hayne. Oh, trouble, bang! In the wall goes John Baldwin. In the concrete. Starkey's caught up in that. So too Jared Knight. Log jam on the back straight. Plenty of cars involved in an early race incident. The attrition rate already climbing. Wayne Visser opted to start this one from pit lane. Might have been a good call. Oh, no. Oh, no. So he went to rejoin, did Baldwin, and then they had to go left and right, and that set off a chain reaction. Look at the parking lot. Paul Wilson, the last of the running order at the moment. Jared Knight behind him and Wayne Visser as well. Sorry, just ahead of him and Wayne Visser just ahead of them. Chris Stark on the tow road, onto pit lane. Schmidtke up 2 spots, Hayne up 2 spots, Baz Leach up 2, Rayhana up 3 to 7th already. Next target, David. Oh no, David Baz gone. Exit of turn 2, claims another one. Bang into the wall, and Rayhana now up to 6th. He's not had to really work hard for any of it so far.
No, he hasn't.
It's a survival of the fittest. Kurt Nomenson not holding the brakes on Pete Edwards, gets a 10-second penalty for race 1. And now we continue to keep an eye on what's going on here. Nomenson's up 9 spots already. Brett Barker on the comeback trail sits 9th. Trent Allen up 10 spots. Sam Chapman the leader, 2.85 seconds over Matt Schmidtke. State of Origin under 19s, New South Wales, Queensland 10 all, 14 minutes to play. Golden Point awaits if they're still locked up at the end of regular time. New South Wales, Queensland, State of Origin, doesn't matter what level it is, be it juniors, seniors or veterans, it always gets your attention. Now, this is Trent Allen in 10th place. Brett Barker forcing the issue on the inside. Barker to go to 8th. Not yet. Jeez, that was commitment. Plus from Dave Oliver, hanging tough around the outside. Actually, happy birthday to Dave for Tuesday as well. It's funny, he didn't mention it. We were sitting here after midnight on Monday night, Tuesday morning. That overlap. He didn't mention that it was his birthday. So we say happy birthday to him for Tuesday just gone. Jackson Rayhana 121.395, fastest lap of the race. He sits 5.5 seconds off Sam Chapman, but he sits 2.3 off Todd Hayne, the next target.
Sam's doing a really good job out in front here. 2.7 seconds, so he's put a decent gap. Now, obviously, we know Rayhana's fast. And he's making his way, he's cutting his way through the grid very, very quickly. He's already up 6 spots, as you mentioned. And he's about 2 seconds away from Todd Hayne here, who himself is catching Schmidtke at a rate of knots. He'll be in attack range as they come around to the start-finish line. But Sam Chapman's putting in some really solid lap times here. He crosses the line there, 121.9. We see Todd Hayne getting on the inside of Matt Schmidtke. That's well done. 22.2 from Todd Hayne at 22.3 from Schmidtke. So Sam Chapman's got pace.
Indeed he does. And there's a 10-second penalty for John Baldwin for the incident on lap 1 that caught Chris Stark out. And we continue on. Jackson Rayhana riding on board with him. Next target, Matt Schmidtke, who just fails. He pulls out of it completely. He says, I'm not having a bar of this, just pass me on by. Off we go. New South Wales take the lead in the under-19s Origin as well. 14:10 with the kick to come, 12 minutes to play. Jackson Rayhana, he's now up to 3rd. Next target, Todd Hayne. And then he'll go out in pursuit. Oh, ball! Dave Oliver has climbed the wall big time.
And the tyre's gone.
And that car is gone. He'll limp that one back to the lane. Oliver in trouble. It was a solid hit too. Holy smackerel.
look at that. Schmicky and Stark.
Not the first incident for Stark tonight, unfortunately, and this is going to come from a rejoin from Schmidtke, is it?
Oh, no!
What the hell's going on here? Oh, poor old Stark, he can't take a trick tonight. Rayhana, 1:21.254. Christensen, Leach, Lavis, Allen, the next one's through. Two into the lane are Schmidtke and Oliver. Joining Stark, Knight and Vizor, who have been there for a while already. All right, so we knew the attrition would be high tonight, Daniel.
We did. And it comes with the territory here at Belle. Again, I always make the same joke, which is that book your dentist appointment well in advance. You know you're coming to Detroit, because it is just bumps everywhere. However, it is what gives Belle its flavour, its uniqueness, its character, is the fact that it doesn't know the definition of runoff area. And as your tyres get worn and as you try and put in lap after lap after lap, you have to remember that you don't have the same grip you had when you started. And some of these guys forget, and you just hear the ever... Oh, Trent Allen gets sideways out the back there, but luckily for him, he keeps it on track. And yeah, you just hear that scraping noise. Some people get away with it. Some people don't. As Jackson Rayhana sets a 1:20.662 for the fastest lap yet again, but Sam Chapman is still 3.2 seconds down the road.
So a long way back from here. 1:20.662. Todd Hayne, Jackson Rayhana, that fight for second. That fastest lap time was just posted by Rayhana. He's 3.5 seconds off Chapman, but it's 2.9 from Chapman to Hayne at the moment. No one looks likely to catch Chapman with the exception of maybe Rayhana here. We're at the end of lap 6. This is the B main, if you like. The feature still to come. David Christensen in 4th place. Guy Leach and Adam Lavis on him like a cheap suit at the moment.
We all knew that was coming. 15-second penalty there for 5.71. That's Matt Schmidtke with the unsafe rejoin. And I feel for him because very clearly he was just focused on trying to get back onto the track. And yeah,
that's not how you merge onto a highway at home, kids.
Well, yeah. No. In Australia, no. But then again, they are in Detroit.
Exactly. Oh dear. Although that being said, I've seen some questionable highway merging. And especially from those that don't know that the whole idea of it being an on-ramp is to actually ramp up the accelerator and be at the speed that you need to merge at, the speed limit of the highway, before you reach the bottom of the ramp. Some people don't get that.
Yeah, well, in New South Wales, they've got traffic lights for them now.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it absolutely ridiculous? Like, it's like, how safe is too safe? But you can't teach stupid. I keep coming back to that point. 9 minutes, 19 seconds gone here, so we're almost at half race distance in the second one of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Chapman, Todd Hayne, Jackson Rayhana, David Christensen, Guy Leach, Adam Lavis. Trent Allen up 13 spots. There's been a couple of comments about him already. Brett Barker, Brett Bradbury, Greg Heaney up 11, so too Adam Proctor, who is just behind Mark McNamara, who follows Heaney at the moment. Jeez, Rayhana. He's not patient here. He's cheeky there, definitely. He definitely is making his presence known on Todd Hayne, and he's saying, "Let me through, you so-and-so." And good evening to you, by the way. And down the inside, Hayne's going to have to let him go this time. Rayhana forces the issue. So 3 seconds the margin, first to second, Chapman to Rayhana. The champion-elect is out of pursuit of Chapo right now, the bridesmaid in Formula V. And we remind you that this is the final round of Spreyton Cider Thursday Night Motorsport of the Wings and Slicks variety. This championship moving to a Tuesday night from next term. Got some exciting news about this championship to drop for those that weren't with us on Tuesday night as well. We might do that between races 2 and 3, but in the meantime, we're at half race distance. Revolution E-Racing asking about Jax Rayhana's championship hope. He's already got it secured. He's already got it.
Adam!
was that from Adam Lavis? Caught the curb.
That's a
Nearly.
huge hit.
Nearly got into the side of Guy Leach. That would have been an enormous, a monster moment for both men. Oh, geez. Ray Hunter leads Gomez. The margin was coming into tonight. It was 88 points. It was 451 playing 363. No Ray Hunter, sorry, no Gomez, no Lutwade on the grid. So the next one that Ray Hunter's got to worry about is Adam Lavis. And oh no, Dave Oliver goes out again. Breaks the car a second time. Mark Gomez was 88 points. Lutwade was another 43 back on that. So the margin was 132 coming into tonight. And it's not going to be helped by the fact that...
Adam, no!
There goes Adam Lavis there. It's not going to be helped by moments like that.
Yeah,
it's not going to be helped.
He got too greedy in the corner.
Indeed. Ray Hunter has 31-point drop round waiting for him. Lavis has 75 points. That doesn't matter either. The reality of the matter is that the margin coming into the night was 132, and Adam Lavis couldn't overturn that. So Ray Hunter's got the championship. It's now Lavis, Baz, and even Guy Leach fighting for the minor placings in the title fight. 319, 311 and 304, and Brett Barker 294, all fighting for those minor placings, and if they can net enough points tonight, they should be able to eclipse, well, particularly Aidan Lutwade and maybe Mark Gomez as well. Gomez has a few drop round points sitting there in his nest egg right now. Brett Barker through on the inside, got by Trent Allen quite nicely into 5th place. Goes Guy Leach into 6th place, goes Brett Barker into 7th place now. Back to 7th place goes Trent Allen. Todd Hayne there, 1.3 behind Jackson Ray Hunter, who's now only 1 second away from Sam Chapman. So Chapo's run at the front may well be grinding to a halt. 7 minutes to go. It's a 21-minute affair. I mean, if we're looking at 1 minute 20 as our benchmark times here, that's going to give you 3 laps every 4 minutes, gives you 12 in 16, gives you 15 in 20. So it's only a 20-minute race. It's not 21. So yeah, we're looking at about 15 laps here, ladies and gentlemen, and no change on the back of the 12-lapper earlier that took, of course, 16 minutes to get to. Or get through, rather. So, yeah, 1 minute 20, 2:44, 4x5 and 3x5, 20 minutes. Oh, geez, Sam Chapman just gifted it to Jackson Ray Hunter. Nearly just opened the door beautifully for him. Up the outside goes Ray Hunter. Ray Hunter will look to go to the lead on the outside at 1, to put him on the inside at 2. Ray Hunter forcing the issue there with Chapman. Ray Hunter down the inside at 2. Ray Hunter for the lead in Detroit.
Yeah,
nicely done.
He had to be careful about that bump, but he went over it okay. And that fight's allowed Todd Hayne to catch back up too. So now we've technically got a fight for, sorry, there's fight for the top 3 here.
Hayne down the inside of Chapman, can't get it done.
And
but those two are going to be left to squabble amongst themselves now.
That's exactly
Ray
right.
Hunter's going to take off Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, he's a second faster. Jackson Ray Hunter's fastest lap was a 20.5. Sam Chapman, 21.5. So, yeah, you can see that the pace there is actually Todd Hayne's fastest lap was a 20.9. So, Hayne's floating around there, but when Jackson has free air, forget it. He's just out and away with it. So, right now, we're just coming up to 5 minutes left. Oh, sorry, you said 21 minutes because the overlaps are 6 minutes left, technically. And it looks like Ray Hunter's going to do...
No, I was going to say there is normally an overlap, but that comes down to who sets the settings up for the service. So it's actually only 20 minutes. So okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be the usual because normally if you join us on a Monday night, we've got an hour window, so it's 21 and 37. But no, here tonight it is, as you can see there, 15 instead of the usual 16. 20 instead of the usual 21, and therefore it'll be 35 instead of probably what would normally be 37. So a little bit of an overlap.
Oh, wait, what happened there? Wait. How did Ray Hunter?
Yeah, how has Ray Hunter fallen back into the clutches of these two? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
he caught the wall! He smacked the wall! J.R. Hildebrand style! Jackson Rayhana has hit the wall. He's opened the door up and Chapman's gone through. That is an enormous shunt for Rayhana. And a rare, uncharacteristic, untimely, unlikely mistake from him on the streets of Detroit.
If he has gotten away with damage on that, he is the luckiest driver I've ever seen. He hit it flush. I'll give him that. But you would think a toe link or something. That was a huge hit.
Monster. An enormous hit for Rayhana. Really unfortunate.
I want to try and get a replay of it from his perspective, but because he maintained his speed, it doesn't come up as a crash log. So I'm wondering if maybe I might have to... Oh, no, it's silly, right?
No. Have a look at the comment there. I'm not sure if that makes any sense for anyone at home.
Right. It must be an emoji. So
he'll go back down the inside this time, Daniel. Let's stay with it live. He's going down the inside, forcing issue on Chapman. Rayhana back to the lead. Chapman left him hardly any room to make it work. Down the inside of the run of the 2 down to 3, and he got through. Sandwiched his way, squeezed his way up on the inside, did Jackson Rayhana. How about that? Oh, nice.
This car seems fine. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't get it either. That was a brown pants type moment for him. And so 15, 20 and 35. So the next race, ladies and gentlemen, with a splash and dash, it's important to note, will probably fall just short of getting the extra lap in there. So Jackson Rayhana leads this race. Let's go and have a look at it from the onboard, that moment that we've been talking about. Round they come again.
Watch the
Rain
hands.
straight. Watch this. A rare cloud on the wall. The only foot he's put wrong tonight. There goes his clean race as well, considering he's clouded the wall. 1, 2, 2. Oh, yeah, he got loose on the... Yep, he got absolutely loose. On the
damage from that.
hump. On the crest. Wow. Now down the inside, Todd Hayne on Sam Chapman. Todd Hayne on Sam Chapman. Not yet. He hasn't got him yet. He needs to get it done on the inside at 4. Chapman goes tough
well
round the
held.
outside and holds it. What about that? And look, that's lap traffic in behind them. Don't worry too much about that. This is a two-way fight for second because Rayhana's taken off. He's 1.8 to the good again. Next time by the line, white flag in the air, so that'll be 15 laps. So 15 and 12, just for the mathematicians at home, that's what we'll be looking at. 27 laps for the finale, and that's going off a calculation of, no, it'll probably be 26, considering that there'll be a splash and dash in there. 3 laps every 4 minutes. 9 4s are 36 and 9 3s are 27, but take 1 off that because there'll be a splash and dash through pit lane. So 26 laps for the season finale in just a few moments' time. In the meantime, Jackson Rayhana comes to the white flag. Be interesting to see what his lap times are in comparison to where they were a few moments ago. He's still in the 20s. He's still in the 20s. How he has... Oh, no! Todd Haynes gone! Up on the wall! Haynes' day is done!
Wait,
he won't get off there!
Can he drive?
He won't be able to drive it off there, and Todd Haynes' race ends 1 up from home! Late drama in Detroit, can you believe that? Todd Haynes' race is done! Wow! You wouldn't fair to come read about it. You couldn't believe this. For bad luck. Caught the curb at 1. And it sent him hard right into and up onto the wall. New South Wales have doubled up tonight, winning the Under-19 State of Origin 14-10 over Queensland. That's breaking news out of Sydney right now. New South Wales home 14-10 over Queensland. Close contest that went right down to the wire. Queensland losing both the Under-19 matches tonight, but they'll hope for revenge next week in Melbourne and Townsville, respectively. 2 from 2 for Jackson Rayhana. He survives a mighty scare, an encounter with the wall that he probably wasn't expecting or anticipating. Jackson Rayhana doubles up. He's on track for the hat-trick and the clean sweep to wrap it up tonight. Jared Knight has also had an incident coming home. Brett Bradbury, Trent Allen haven't made it to the end, so we need to have a look at what's going on there. Adam Hayne, Dave Oliver, Chris Stark, Wayne Vizzer, all out of business as well. We know what happened to Dave Oliver. We don't know what happened to Brett Bradbury or Jared Knight. Jared Knight, we were reliably informed, was involved in that incident, and you're about to see Jackson Ray Harness. Oh, jeez. You're about to see Jackson Ray Harness, little description line there under his name and hometown, grow by won by Super Formula Light Championship. He's going to add that to the TCR, to the up-and-comers, and all the other stuff that he's wrapped up in the past. He's about to add Super Formula Lights Champion to the rostrum, to the portfolio there. Very nicely done. Great racing in Detroit. Drama right to the end. And well done to Jackson Ray Harner, who is 2 to the good tonight. Now, of course, given it's an Olympic year, there are the championship standings updated, by the way. Joe Baldwin stopped by for a chat, so too Sam Chapman. We'll get to them in just a moment. Rayhana, Gomez, 5, 13 plays, 363. Adam Lavis now up into second, David Bazda. Third, Guy Leach to fourth, Brett Barker to fifth. There's now a chance of capitalising on Gomez in this final race as well. And the fight for second of the championship still well and truly alive. 18 points covering those 4 men. Sam Chapman, you got to lead it for a little bit.
To leave it for a long bit.
And you nearly got it back when Rayhana smacked the wall.
I did get it back, but the thing is, keeping Jackson Rayhana behind is not the easiest thing to do. In fact, it's almost impossible. So,
how did he not sustain damage there, please?
Magic, I assume. It just... yeah, he's built different in these cars, put it that way. When I saw that he was on pole by about 6/10, pretty tightly patch filled otherwise, it was sort of a dead giveaway that he'd probably run away with it if it was all on pace. So, yeah, congrats to him. Just great battle there with Hayne and with Hayden Jackson. It was great battling with them, but yeah, what a race, lots of fun.
Indeed, I'm going to ask him when he joins us for a chat post-race whether he's got some sort of cheat code attached to his. Remember when PS1, PS2 days you could add cheat codes to make yourself steadfast or whatever the case may be. AI could get damage, but you would be just proof. He might have that. I've got no idea how he didn't sustain damage on the wall. Extraordinary hit.
It's the same John Merritt cheat code as to how he doesn't sustain damage in incidents, I reckon. I think they've been talking. He's been down to a Chica Toyota and bought the custom pack.
To find out who makes a suspension of that. Whey! Oh, yeah, yours definitely broke.
All right, let's get away from you for a moment, Chapo. We'll have a chat to you at the end, mate. Good luck in race 3.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Joe Baldwin, what's your take been on it from race control, please?
Look, it's been for being the concrete canyon that this place is, Belle Isle. I think the guys have been pretty good. There's been a bit of rear contact in race 1, but a couple of questionable rejoins there. Matt Schmicky,
yes,
yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. It's just unfortunate. I could see what led to it. He was obviously frustrated when he made the mistake and just wanted to get back in, and he just didn't blend in. He had a lot more speed than what Starkey did coming off the corner, and he's just misjudged. So unfortunate for both of them guys. Chris feel like Jake Paul after going a couple of rounds with Tyson. I think he got knocked around a little bit early in that race. So. But look, I tell you what, the going into this final race now, and I believe we got extra points on offer. The battle for second in the championship now is absolutely on fire between Adam Maverick and David Baz. It's pretty much going to be, I think Baz will have to beat Adam by at least 2 positions in this race to lock in second in the championship. There was only 8 points between them coming into this race, so like coming into tonight, and there's been Adam beating by 2 in that one and Baz beating by 1 position in the last race, so it's going to come down to this race for them guys and second in the championship.
All right, Joe, we'll hear from you at the end, mate. Thank you for that.
Thank you, mate.
Always good to get an on the roll, on the go update from Race Control. We are ready to fire the final race of the campaign, the final instalment of Super Formula Lights for Spreyton Cider on a Thursday night on the streets of Detroit. Let's go to work. 3 wide on the run down to turn 1. Hold your breath. That could end in tears. Smooth run so far, thankfully. Ray Hunter a clean jump. Chapman into second spot. Barker and Lavis in behind. Guy Leach sending it down the inside of McNamara. Whoa, McNamara out close to the wall. He's got Greg Heaney and David Baz for company. Remember here, this was a case of progressive grid. So start race 3 where you finished race 2, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see Greg Heaney having an okay run, finishing 6th in that previous race. There will be pit stops in this race. There will be a splash and dash requirement. 35 minutes. We anticipate 26 laps. Noting that we'll fall 1 short of that 27 marker due to that splash and dash requirement. 27, of course, the calculation based on 1 minute 20 lap times and 3 laps every 4 minutes. 9 4s are 36, therefore 9 3s are 27. But with it only being 35 minutes and a slash and dash, that'll take care of that. Unfortunately, the wall at the end of the back straight has taken care of Adam Proctor. Jared Knight's back out there. Adam Proctor's parked up and out of the race. David Christensen has dropped 19 spots on the opening lap. Wayne Visser, Pete Edwards, Dave Oliver, 21st, 20th and 19th respectively. Kurt Nomenson down to 18th. Chris Stark up 5 spots to 17th. And Adam Hayne on the comeback trail up 3 spots to 16th. Jared Knight up 5 spots to 15th early on. So all those guys fighting their way back through. Todd Hayne up 5 spots into 10th place. And that was David Baz losing out on the back straight to Guy Leach. Not on the back straight, but on the run between turns 2 and 3. The early stages of the second lap here on the streets of Detroit. The final installment of the championship here. David Baz, we're riding on board with him. We now pick up Jared Knight in 13th place and going nicely. Up 9 spots already, 8 spots in fact, sorry, on the inside of Eduardo Zamora to the end of the back straight. Lap 2. 15th and final race of the campaign, remembering that throughout the course of this season, we take you back, round 1 and 2 were just two single races. Car in the wall on the exit, driver's right there of the 11th quarter of the lap through 12, 13, 14. Oh, Chapo undone by the fast, sweeping, flowing turn 1-2 sequence here by the curb.
Same thing that happened to Hayne.
He did well. He did well to keep it off the wall. We had sprint racing in round 3, round 5, round 6, and round 8. So we've already had, what's that? 4 sprint rounds and 5 single race affairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is races 14, 15 and 16 of the championship tonight, folks. An absolute beauty in store here in Detroit. Remembering, of course, Thursday Night Motorsport has a very different look and feel to it from next term. We're with you Thursday, July 11 for the start of the new campaign, and we'll bring you LMP2 cars in the Downforce Legends first up. Downforce Legends back. Porsche Cup back on the server as well. Thursday night, July 11. And we'll be with you from the usual time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for all of that. Make sure you join Daniel Correa, Sarah and I. The Wins and Slicks, the Super Formula Lights, finding themselves a new home. They're shuffling from one T to the other, from Thursday to Tuesday. And they will slot in after the introductory formula. I'll go through all of that a little bit later on, but yes, no Super Formula Lights on a Thursday night, the championship sticking around but finding a new home. We've done some manoeuvring, some shuffling in the past. Some championships have moved from night to night. Supercars is a prime example. It's now found its home in the entree on a Monday night. We've got, it's like the old days, actually, the old 25-minute sprints on a Monday night. Same with the Porsches. They used to be a Wednesday night main, so now Thursday night. The GT4, of course, very much at home as the main course on a Wednesday night now, after being formerly either the entree to GT3 or combined with GT3 or the entree to something else on a Wednesday night in the past. So looking forward to a lot of great racing next term here on the platforms of the GSRC. Matt Schmidtke, I'm a little bit out of puff, I'm not going to lie, Daniel Correa. So I think Formula V took it all out of me, mate. 5.5 minutes gone, 5 3/4 minutes gone. Schmidtke down the inside of McNamara and goes to P6. A 5-second penalty for Eduardo Zamora. No racing room on Kurt Neumanson. Everybody else still running except for Adam Proctor. So we're down to 22 here in Detroit. Down the inside, Jared Knight. 2-1. No way.
Let's go.
Jared Knight up to 7th and up 13 spots.
Fast study is right.
Beauty. How about that?
Bloody hell. All right, so he had the speed to be able to absolutely send it down the inside, and that's brave. That's brave. You saw Adam Lavis get caught out by that curb. It's very easy to do. But no, Jared Knight nailed it, and he's up to P7. 13 positions from the start.
It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's a great run. It is really good to see. It's probably his best run of the campaign thus far. We can only hope it continues. Massive shot for Sam Chapman.
Oh, I hope I didn't do that. I cut at the exact time. And Sam
Chapman and Oliver have come together.
Sam Chapman.
Let's have another look at that. Chapman and Oliver have come together. Oh, Oliver off the wall. Chapman nowhere to go. Jeez. You got a feel for both men there. Nowhere to go. Now, one point that I wanted to get to, and I didn't get a chance to finish it off earlier. Once we're done here, folks, it's currently screening in Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth. It's about to screen in Sydney and Brisbane. It'll be airing local time in Perth, so it's not on until about 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 local for Perth. But there's one of the great things about the Olympic year is there's a plethora of associated sports programming that comes with that. And the Nine Network, of course, a couple of weeks ago showed a great doco on the swimming rivalry with the United States. Tonight, they're showing the story of the first family of basketball, the Gaze family, Lindsay and Andrews. So that will be fantastic. Tonight at 10 o'clock in Sydney, in New South Wales, Queensland, the ACT, and 9:30 in the Northern Territory. For everybody else, as I say, Western Australia, that's coming your way at about 8:30 local. For our friends in South Australia, Victoria and Tasmania, that's already started on the Nine Network, and you can catch up on 9 now. But that's the thing. If you're not an all-year-round basketball fan, you're not an all-year-round sports fan, you're definitely an Olympic fan. And that will be a great bit of added viewing to start the countdown to the Boomers and the Opals and their campaign in France. Dave Oliver, for the incident with Sam Chapman on lap 5, Don't think there'll be any further action on that one. That certainly seems to be the vibe I'm getting from race control, racing incident. Yeah. So no further action on that. Not much you could do, unfortunately. Kurt Nomensen back out on the racetrack. David Christensen has been into pit lane as well. Adam Hayne, Eduardo Zamora, Todd Hayne, Wayne Visser, Sam Chapman have all been into pit lane. But this is the thing, right? Let's go. Oh, an unexpected notification's just dropped from a colleague with regards to some Facebook posts that I'm going to have to put up over the next couple of days on the Motor Racing Australia Facebook page. If Riccardo Bonavenuti is tuning in, mate, good evening to you and thank you for that. But yeah, there have been some guys already come to pit lane, Daniel, but what I'm interested in is where's the critical lap, where's the earliest you can stop and get home, and I don't think 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the laps you're looking at in that regard when you're going 26 and 35 minutes. So for someone like Kurt Nomensen, he's been in at the end of lap 6. He may be able to stretch at 20 laps, but it could be a stretch.
Yeah, I'm not too. The problem is I'm not too familiar with the pit windows for the Super Formula lights. I know that you can save a significant amount of fuel depending on how you drive, but the problem with a track like Detroit is, there's too many walls. I feel like everybody's trying to go flat out. Ray Harner can chill. He's 5 seconds down the road. There's no issue there. Adam Lavis is actually doing a really good job out at the front there too. He's got a nice gap to Guy Leach. Actually, the top 6 have all got a decent gap to each other. And then there's Jared Knight here, who came on to the YouTube chat and said, oh yeah, I've got to learn how to drive these cars. But whatever happened between race 2 and 3, I don't know, but he's figured it out. And I think he's about to get Schmidt.
He wanted to have a look. He wanted to have a lunge, but he thought better of it for the moment. We'll follow him through. We'll try and set it up either at 1. Oh, no, he's coming to pit lane. Okay. He will come to pit lane. So there's your answer. He seems confident that he can get home from lap 8. From the end of lap 8, an 18-lap run to the flag. Rayhana continues on. Barker, Lavis, Baz, Leach, Schmidtke, Heaney, McNamara, Baldwin, and Wilson the top 10 at the moment. Jared Knight in and out in 4.25 seconds, so it's not much of a drop, but it's enough. Kurt Nomensen is now down a lap as well, having come into pit lane for 1.12 seconds last time round. Dave Oliver tuning in via YouTube now that he's parked up in pit lane and out of the race. Good evening. Yes. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that.
That's why the halo exists. At least you still have your head. And again, one of those things about the evolution of motorsport and safety. Once upon a time, I remember when they were introduced. You couldn't get it. You couldn't stop hearing about how ugly those things were, and it's ruining the aesthetic of the sport. And it's such a silly decision. And I think we've seen enough incidents now where that thing has proven its worth. Not only in Formula One, but in all of the formulas. IndyCar had a similar system, but they actually got an entire aero screen rather than just the roll bar, or the roll hoop, I should say, and that tends to work well for them. But yes, it is a good addition. Now they've just got to figure out how to stop them from splitting in half. Luckily, we've only seen it twice, which was, let's see, that was Romain Grosjean in Bahrain and Mick Schumacher in Monaco.
Yep.
Split that. Oh, they're both Haas. Yeah, okay. I never put 2 and 2 together there, but yeah, they were both Haas machines.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. 13 minutes gone here, and you're watching Pete Edwards there in 11th, and doing a nice job of it. It's Pete. Trying to keep his nose clean. Easier said than done in this caper, and he's one of 12 yet to stop in this race. Everybody else has. Everyone else behind. Brett Bradbury has stopped, and Brett's now 3.3 down on Pete. So Brett should be dropping into view in a moment. Oh, in the wall. There goes lap traffic, I think it was. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, Kurt Nomensen. That's another clout for Kurt. That's 3 now. 3 strikes, you're out. He might park it now. Yep, that's going nowhere except the back of the garage. That's going to be a very, very long repair bill. Start with the front wing, then the tyres. The steering column, the brackets, the hubs, yeah. The entire front end assembly. That's unfortunate for Kurt. In the meantime, actually, I mentioned it's very unlucky for him, and he joins me in the commentary box right now from pit lane. Is that a case of 3 strikes and you're out, Kurt? How long's the repair bill on this one?
Crew chief said we can't fix it. So
No, it
makes sense.
unfortunately, parked it in the garage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not enough spare parts. I mean, and to be fair, you'd already used a few of them up in previous encounters in this race, mate. Just didn't go to plan.
Yeah, I think I just lost talent in this final race. I got lucky though, with Sam and Dave, but yeah, I think I lost my talent.
Oh, how did Johnson? He's lucky. I mean, it says so on the side of his car, doesn't it? But I don't know how he didn't flip that.
No. Right, that's madness. In the meantime, there's Paul Wilson. So Kurt, that's a disappointing way to end the season, mate. But what have you taken out of the season? What have you enjoyed most? What have you enjoyed least? And are you at a point now where you're feeling any more comfortable with this car than what you were at the start of the season? And will we see you go and have a crack at it next term?
Yeah, I enjoyed slowly and surely improving in this car. Definitely a little bit to go. I'm probably going to reach out to some of the faster boys and see if I can't get any more pace out of this before next season. That's a big thing that I want to do, is improve and just knock even just half a second off my lap time so I can not fall so far off the pace. That'd be good for next season. But yeah, I'll definitely be running next season.
Very nicely done. And of course, I mean, we've still got the NASCARs coming up tomorrow night to finish the campaign off. But the next couple of weeks, mates, no doubt a lot of opportunities to practice, to test, to work out what car you're going to run in categories where there is a choice. No doubt an opportunity to get comfortable with some new setups and some new cars that haven't been offered this season, particularly the LMP2.
Yeah, definitely going to be spending a lot of time doing laps, testing, all that sort of fun stuff. So hopefully I'll come back and be a little bit quicker next season, even if it's not running up the front. Just a little bit quicker would be nice.
Not going to lie, it sounds like everybody else is going to keep busy and stay in the rig and keep going, but yours truly is having a couple of weeks just walking away from it completely and looking forward to just putting tools down and taking stock and catching the breath at the halfway mark of the year. I can't believe that we're already at the end of week number 20 of broadcast on these platforms this season, with another 20 where that came from starting Monday, July 8. Down the inside, John Baldwin makes light work of Mark McNamara and Paul Wilson. The lead at the front is held by Jackson Rayhana by 7.2 seconds. He said he was looking forward to Detroit. He set out and proved it. 5.9 then back from Barker to Lavis. That's important with regards to the battle for second in the championship. Oh boy, 1.5 as well from David Baz. That's Adam Lavis's advantage at the moment. Only 1.6 seconds, so that will hinge on pit stops. And we know that Adam Lavis prides himself on his efficiency there. 1 minute 20.005, the best time so far for Jackson Rayhana. We've got Sam Chapman back out on the racetrack in 17th place, and Todd Hayne on the pits after, well, that was a moment for David Christensen, and Todd Hayne, I believe, has got back out there, but that was after a second pit stop on lap 12 for 4.87 seconds. And Paul Wilson was picked up in 9th place. He pulls the trigger, he goes to pit lane, takes Greg Heady with him. Oh, it's all happening now. It's all happening now. Wayne Visser has been to pit lane and is back out again. Todd Hayne as well. David Christensen, 3 pit stops, and he's parked up and done for the night. So Christensen, Nomenson, Oliver, are all set and done for this campaign. And Heaney and Wilson still arguing the same bit as they come back out late back in 11th and 12th. That is going by the lap traffic there. Oh, jeez.
Oh, they survived.
Mickey.
Oh, there's a nudge. There's a nudge there. David Baz just got a little unsettled by the bump in the road. Luckily, he...
Actually, no, that's not Matt Schmicky. My apologies. There's someone out there that's a lap down in all of this, isn't there?
That's 173, which is... Oh, sorry, that's Wayne Visser.
Wayne Vizzer, yep. So it's 175, yeah. So Vizzer's out there in a fight that he really doesn't need to be in at the moment with, yeah, David Baz. Well, it's not Baz anymore, no. Baz has managed to get himself clear. And he's only 1.5 seconds away from Adam Lavis. So those two can't... Whoa! Clout the wall, why don't you? That was Vizzer and Hayne, and Hayne's going to take Vizzer back on by. I've picked them up now. It's 18th and 19th. It's both of them. So the battles are still raging for 18th and 19th. Chris Stark to pit lane. The 8th last car to stop in the car race, you would imagine. All being fair and equal. We're in that window now. We expect this to run 26 laps. Jackson Rayhana at the end of lap 15. So that's working out nicely. 3 laps every 4 minutes, and 3 5s of 15 and 4 5s of 20. So that's working nicely. That's Brett Bradbury's night coming to an end. He'll be on the lane getting a new front wing.
So I'm a little worried for Adam Lavis here, because David Baz has the pace on Adam. We know Adam's really good with the fuel save. Okay, so Adam Lavis will come in. David Baz is going to go for the over. See how it resolves. If David Baz gets a flying lap here, like a proper flying one.
Undercut v overcut.
Yeah. It's he's exciting. He's rapid. We know he's rapid. The problem is he's flirting with death. He is nudging those walls, which is, I mean, you know, you want to use all of the track, I suppose, but ideally you want to use the parts of the track that are horizontal and not vertical. So hopefully he keeps it nice and steady on this one. He'll probably be able to make it work. But if Adam's done Adam things, then he would have had to have only his stop would be shorter, and maybe that is what will get him the position back when all things are resolved. Rayhana still hasn't pit, neither has Barker or Baldwin or McNamara. It is the top 6 that are still yet to come in. So Adam had 6.8 seconds on that pit stop. I'd imagine David will be coming in.
You'd think so.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of bumps right next to those walls too.
No, he's staying in again. Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would have come in that lap, try and get the overcut there.
Now, let's look at that lap time, 21.3. That's an interesting choice. Okay, all right.
Because now he's going to catch traffic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, man. If we have a look at where Lavis is right now, so he's in okay air. He's got McNamara in front of him, who's yet to pit as well. So that'll be a battle for position. Lavis, of course, or actually he pit at the same time as Adam Hayne. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this resolves. I really thought David Baz would come in that lap, but he's elected to stay out. So I don't think that's a smart choice. Then again, he's the driver on the commentator, so.
Yep. Oh boy, strategy play alive and well here in the closing stages of the final race of Super Formula Light. We're very excited, and we'll elaborate on this more at the end of the broadcast about what's to come for this championship. And it's not what's necessarily to come for the championship as it is for the competitors of or within the championship. It will require a little bit of overtime, some week 11 work in term 3, and even though they're going to a Tuesday night, it'll actually be on a Wednesday night, so more on that at the end of the broadcast. And in the meantime, we are 11 3/4 minutes away from home. Rayhana leads by 9.8. We're on lap 18 of 26. That's what we anticipate this race getting to. Nat Schmidtke comes to pit lane at the end of lap 17, leaving just Rayhana, Barker, Baz, Baldwin and McNamara to stop. Everybody else has been in. We see Matt Schmidtke here clouting... No, not clouting the concrete, but he's going to get it loose through turn 11.
Now, do you do this without hitting someone else? Yes! Good stuff, Schmidtke.
Now, just having a look there. Todd Haynes taken over Eduardo. Some more of those two are up down arguing over the same piece of real estate at the moment. Brett Bradbury is out of the race. Wayne Visser may as well be. He's parked up with, he's been in the pit lane for 3.5 minutes. David Christensen's joined the retirement list as well. So slowly but surely, we're down to 17 cars on track. That man is David Baz on your screen at the moment. He is third. As far as the championship's concerned, it's between him and Adam Lavis to see who's going to get the better of. And Baz comes to pit lane now. Adam Lavis and David Baz, this fight for the championship runner-up position is on in earnest. Here comes Lavis now, following McNamara through. Now, McNamara's the last of those yet to have completed a pit stop on the racetrack as far as the running order is concerned. Baz has been stationary for 4.7. He is out and on his way. Oh boy, that's a big win for David Baz potentially. Lavis across the line to turn one. There he is coming into view. No, Baz has got out and covered him off and done so beautifully.
He's got a big
wow.
time.
He's got an enormous amount of time, David Baz, on Adam Lavis. That's enormous. Huge win. Mark McNamara is holding Adam Lavis up now. John Baldwin's the one hassling David Baz for track position. John's yet to stop. David's now the best of those. Two have stopped, but Jackson Rayhana's still the incumbent race leader. On track for the hat-trick here at the end of lap 19, and he now comes to pit road. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's an enormous win for David Baz. 2.5 seconds on Adam Lavis. So Lavis should mathematically go into third on the racetrack here ahead of Brett Barker and ahead of John Baldwin and Mark McNamara when they come to pit lane. It's behind Jackson Rayhana and behind David Baz. But for the moment, unfortunately, Mark McNamara is giving him some trouble, and Jared Knight's about to offer some curry as well. Look at Knight. Knight in 7th, not done yet. Has not finished the job. Has not finished the job. Is a man on a mission. Into 50 goes. Baldwin and McNamara to pit lane. Lavis has been released. Only one not to stop yet is Brett Barker. Knight to the outside of Lavis. Knight to the outside.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That didn't
Uh-oh.
sound good.
That's a
In the wall.
That's a point.
Jared Knight's charge comes to an end. And Adam Lavis, I think, might have been there. Oh, no, there he is. He's in 4th. He's got by Adam Lavis, but what the hell's going on there, please, boys? We need to see a replay of that Daniel Correa start, because there was definite contact.
The camera angle was the worst it could have possibly been. At that point. So
they
here
were
we go.
well right of where we wanted them to be.
So
Lavis
Jared
and Knight.
Oh, they came together. So, no damage, I don't think.
A penalty for Adam, because that's what Eduardo got on me.
Yeah,
that
but
exact
to be fair,
same thing.
Lavis could do nothing wrong. Couldn't do anything about the car movement there.
Yeah, well, I think Eduardo had the same thing. He dived up on me and got that exact same penalty for hitting me.
And in this instance as well, I mean, it's not as though the incidences are a little bit different. Because Eduardo dive bombed you, but Lavis was the one defending there. Lavis was on the inside. It was Knight that was attacking on the outside, and I think Daniel Correa, all that can work in Adam Lavis's favour there is the fact that he bounced off the ripple strip, and the car momentum, he couldn't control that. Once he had that momentum, once he got bounced off the ripple strip, he lost all control.
So there's one thing to note here, which is, so luckily for them, their wheels they catapulted off each other. You can just see Adam Lavis just lost the rear there. So the issue for Adam here is, Joe did mention that David Baz would have to be 2 positions ahead to take that second position from him, and unfortunately that is what is the case right now. So
wow. Wowee. Brett Barker's come back out in 2nd spot as well, boys, from his pit stop. So Barker is actually on track for 2nd, which shouldn't surprise anybody. He had a really good run last week, and that was Jared Knight nearly throwing it down the road.
This is still on.
Yeah, it's still alive and well. Lavis will throw everything at it. He can't afford to leave anything on the table here. Knight on a charge. They're 9 seconds down the road from David Baz. They're not catching him. Rayhana leads Barker by 8.3. It's another 10 seconds back to David Baz. Another 9 seconds back to these two. And Knight and Lavis are going at it hammer and tong. Lavis giving Knight the big hurry up. To the inside. To fourth. Lavis on the inside of Knight. Makes it work this time. And given what happened there last time round, Knight was happy to let him go.
He wanted it back on the inside, though.
So, interestingly, and I only just thought of this, but that initial incident that those two had was very reminiscent of Scotty Mack and Roman Grosjean and Snake Pete. Luckily for these two, they didn't end up in the barrier. And they kept on going. That one. Yeah, so now it's the question in my mind is Lavis has done the job. He's minimised it to just one position. So if the math checks out, he should still hold on to P2. But the draft is strong with these. So if Jared Knight can manage to keep that gap minimal, they'll essentially leapfrog each other until that final lap. But it looks like Jared Knight might either have damage or he's just lost a bit of confidence in that car because Adam's put his visor down. He is absolutely punching it now.
The Rd-10 has descended.
Yeah, he's punching it now. So yeah, that's a significant gap. That's 1.4 seconds. Yeah, Adam is intent on holding that. Yep, he wants to hold that. And Jackson Rayhana is 9.8 down there. So, I mean, there is not a single change of colour shade there. Everybody is on the white, which means everybody is more than a second away from their next competitor. Oh, except Pete Edwards. He had to make me a liar. Pete Edwards is about to make another second cross start.
As you do. Oh, dear.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Talk.
That bump.
And there's Rayhana.
Such an easy bump.
I tried.
Oh.
Wow, 19.8.
Yep.
It's full of surprises, aren't you, Jackson?
Haynes just chimed in and said, I tried. And that's because he's on pit lane and both Haynes are on pit lane. One's been there for 4 minutes and one's been there for 3 minutes. Sam Chapman, unfortunately, in trouble once more.
What?
And a 5-second penalty for Adam Lavis. For that incident with Jared Knight. Wow.
That's a game changer.
And full credit to Joe Baldwin. I mean, you know, he's playing by the same rule book. There's no favouritism for fellow committee members, for fellow teammates. They're both from the Aussie Racer stable, so you can't say there's any bias associated with that. That's Joe playing by the rule book, and that is his adjudication on it, and that's what will be final. Unless there's an appeal, of course, lodged a little bit later on, and that's all of a sudden advantage back to David Baz. But the onus is now on Adam Lavis over the final 2 laps. That's all there's going to be when Jackson Rayhana comes back to the line to extend that margin out over Jared Knight to 5 seconds.
I think he's
about the only way Adam Lavis can win it from here.
No, but that's
to get 4th place.
But that's the thing. Adam actually has the pace to do that.
Yeah, in 2 laps, he's gone over 3 seconds.
Yeah, no, he absolutely has the pace to do that. And I would imagine we're going to see shades of Danny Rick at Russia. He gets given the notice of his penalty, and he just puts his head down and goes, understood. And he's going to absolutely eke out. I would not be surprised if Adam can manage to eke that out. So are we on white flag? Not yet. Yeah. So if he's got 2 laps to do it,
I think he's got it.
I think he can do it.
So next time, guys, just keep an eye on it. Jackson Rayhana should get the white flag, boys.
Yeah, just looking at the relative, I think he gains a lot through that turn 1-2. He's got more confidence than Nighty.
It's a 3.5 right now. Limiter on that.
He is bouncing it.
Jackson's coming around the final sector there. So we should see. There it is.
There it is.
The white flag.
White flag in the air. The
4
champion
seconds
elect
now.
is on his way home.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. He's pulled Danny Rick at Russia.
Yeah, he's just put his visor down and got understood. And now he is
thanks very much.
punching out the time. And I wonder if he knows about the penalty. Oh, he'd have to. No, because they type it into the iRacing chat. Yeah, he'd have to know.
Yeah.
Have to know.
Yeah, he'd have to know,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, come on, Adam.
He's so close. Can't make a mistake this lap.
He's going gangbusters here. There's no doubt about that.
If he crosses the
Keep
line
an
with
eye on Adam
5
Lavis.
exact, I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh,
Very close.
5.01. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I'll lose it. I'll actually lose it.
anything is possible here. Adam Lavis, it's currently 4.7. It's on track. He just can't afford a mistake. He can't afford to put a foot wrong. Fourth in the motor race at stake here. But in the meanwhile, 13 seconds to the good on Brett Barker. The champion is going to cement the title and the mantle with absolute authority. Checkered flag in the air, out at the ready. Jackson Rayhana. A clean sweep, a hat trick, a triple treat on the streets of Belle in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, back Marcus, get out of the
And
way.
that's the job done. Oh, that's cost him.
Yeah, look, it's floating on the
It's on the tip. It's on the cusp.
Oh, no.
Adam Lavis needs an enormous final corner. It's 5.1. He cannot afford to put a foot wrong here. Lavis to the line. Keep an eye on Jared Knight. It's 5.3.
he's got
He's
it.
good. He's okay. He's okay. Adam Lavis is still going to get 4.
Oh, it's...
He flirted
half a
with that at the
second.
end.
Oh, no
Jackson
way.
Rayhana wins the championship. And he probably had it won before we started tonight. But he goes out and puts the icing on his own cake here with a triple treat. An almost perfect night, except for one almighty wall scrape. And the fact that he got away with it, he should go and buy a lotto ticket. But Jackson Rayhana has done a superb job here to win the championship in comprehensive, emphatic style. He's seen off all the competition. He's done a marvellous job. He was the man to beat from very early on in the piece, despite some serious pressure from Aidan Luthwaite. But then when he knew that the grand finale was here, he was fairly confident of the chances. But then just to go out and rubber stamp it the way that he's done, it's Dench-like. Now he's a 2-time TCR champion. He's got an IndyCar title, an up-and-comers title to his name. Now a Super Formula Lights wings and slicks as well. That is title number 5 on the platforms of the GSRC for one of our greats.
Well, I think I'll know who I'll be going to get some tips about the Super Formula.
Yep. Leave nothing on
those
that
tyres.
tyre.
way it's done.
Magnificent stuff. Have a look at that.
That's the way you celebrate.
Beautifully done. What about that? A guy that we didn't get a chance to have a chat to earlier because we were hearing from Joe Baldwin and also Sam Chapman was Greg Heaney. He's back in the commentary box alongside us now. Forget about race 1. At least you finished strong. Races 2 and 3. Top 10s, mate. Well done.
I was going to say, yes, very spirited drive off the back of race 2. Yeah, happy with the end result, netting 2 top 10s. So congratulations to Jackson. Off practice, he had that in the bag from turning up tonight. No one was catching him.
Not at all. I mean, despite some spirited competition from your own Aidan Luthwaite, mate, he was the benchmark all season long. And he just came out and rubber stamped it tonight, didn't he?
Oh, very much so. But it's really good when you're sitting within the top 10 and you get messages in your ears from your crew chief saying, "Oh, you're only 7/10 down through all 3 sectors." Like, yeah, thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, from the outside looking in, it's been a tough campaign. There have been many memorable moments. There have been many highlights. What are your takeaways from the season that was, and what are you hoping to improve upon when we get to turn 3, mate, in these cars as they move to a Tuesday night?
Oh, look, I've had a blast driving these things. I know I'm not the quickest. I will get there eventually, hopefully. But yeah, just more open wheel time and just getting used to driving stuff in open wheel. I'm more attuned to driving GT3s, but yeah, just having an absolute blast driving these things, and especially with these group of guys that it is, for the most part, very, very respectful. There is a few little incidents here and there that crop up every now and then, but race control deals with those things. But you know, I'm having a ball with these. Can't wait till next season.
No, looking forward to it immensely. And which of the 2 cars on a Thursday night will we see you play a trade in now, Greg?
Definitely the LMP. Still tossing up if I jump in the Porsche or not.
Very nice. Talk to me about the trick to the trade around here, because it's one of those circuits, isn't it? No margin for error, and as you found out in race 1, you get it wrong, you pay the price.
Oh, very much so. As you say, no margin for error. You're driving a concrete canyon. You've got to keep it pointing in the right direction, otherwise it's all over. So.
Indeed. Stay there with me, mate. Coming back to you very shortly, because we've got the champion in the house. We had Joe Baldwin here momentarily. Trucker has gone. He's trucked off. See what I did there? See what I did there? Very nice. At 10:15 on a Thursday night, 8:15 in the West. We're clear. I could have said worse, but no, I won't do that. But it does rhyme with trucked. Anyway, let's bring in the champion. Jackson Rayhana, well done. I think we've done our sums right. Title number 5 for you as an individual on the platforms of the GSRC across 17 seasons. We know you love your wins and slicks. We know that there's plenty of wins and slicks offerings next season. We know you're looking forward to that. You're excited about what you saw on Monday night. But before we talk about anything else tonight, can we just talk about, you know, the latter stages of race 2 and how the hell you didn't actually get wrecked as you clouted the wall and gave it a fair whack, I might add, out of turn 2?
Good evening, mate, and crew. Yeah, that turn 2 whack. I'll tell you what, it didn't come off scot-free. There was definitely a little bit of toe out, so it was turning right better than it was turning left.
I'm glad to hear that, because it sure as hell didn't look like it, because you were matching your lap times, funnily enough.
Oh, the moment I hit it, I thought it was done. I'm like, I'm going to get a meatball here, and you know, that's it. But you know, hung on. I had a little bit of toe out on the right rear. So yeah, it was turning. Yeah, it was turning right better than it was turning left. But yeah, like, thankfully, yeah, I think I got a bit lucky there, definitely.
Just before we go back to you, I mean, we've got Kurt Nomenson here as well. Kurt, when you listen to Greg and you listen to Jackson talk about plying their trade here, who are you looking for pointers, for tips, for some assistance to improve your own racecraft, mate?
Probably leaning more towards Jackson here. He's just on fire. No one can touch him.
If you've got any pineapples, I'm sure he'll take under the table payments, aren't I? I'm sure he'll help you out. No, Jackson, to be honest, the Summit SimSport machine in fine form this season. I mean, we know that you love this track, mate, but knowing that your nearest 2 rivals weren't on the grid means that you had the title pretty much locked up before the night even got underway. Did that take a little bit of weight off the shoulders, or were you not worried about that in the slightest?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shame, and yeah, that they didn't rock up. I definitely would have, liked to have definitely had a tussle with those 2, Mark and Aiden, I'm referring to, on the grid. But yeah, no, look, tonight's result, to be honest, I came into tonight with yeah, I didn't want anything else to happen. Basically, that was what I was looking for, and yeah, whoever was on the grid, definitely would have been. Well, I got challenged definitely by Brett. He was applying the pressure early on, and his cold tyre pace was actually really good. So yeah, it had to definitely keep me on the straight and narrow. But yeah, no, it was the result we got tonight is the result that I wanted from the beginning, and from the very beginning of the season when I saw this car or this circuit was on track. So this circuit was on the calendar.
You've been involved in a bit of open wheel racing in your time. We know that's your bread and butter. Where does this car stack up against the other open wheelers as far as you're concerned?
Sorry, I missed that one. Zach, say it again.
I said you've driven a few open wheelers in your time. We know that's your crust, your bread and butter. This is the discipline that you love. Where does this particular car stack up against the rest of them?
Question. To be honest, I think it's like basically just a new Dallara F3. And if I'm honest, I've got a lot of very fond memories with that Dallara F3, so I think I'm always going to lean towards that one. But in saying that, this car's a very worthy replacement. To be honest, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't a huge fan, just because of the throttle maps, and it drove fairly differently to the old one. Or what the old one, I say, the Dallara Formula 3. But over the season, I think by Portimao was definitely I found a new love for this thing, and yeah, hopefully I'll have room to try and back it up next season. But as you mentioned before, there's so much choice, so I don't really know what I'm going to be doing at this stage.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I was hoping to pick your brain on that. I mean, there's open wheel racing Tuesday and Friday night. We know that there's obviously the LMP2s, which everybody's raving about at the moment as well. We know that you'll steer clear of the tin tops with enough open wheel choice as well. But given what we know about the schedule, what are you most excited about? And if you can commit to it, which is your preference, mate?
Oh, look. I do want to go towards what challenges me. So there is, the LMP2 immediately strikes me as something that all the Summit boys are pretty keen on, because we've had as a team we've had a lot of success in that car, and the IndyCar series, very happy to see that one back. Definitely a lot of fond memories in that one as well. It's been a bit of hot minute since I've driven the car though, so I'm probably going to be back to square one. But in saying that, I also want to challenge myself a little as well, and if it means driving some Tim Tops next season, the addition of the re-edition of the Porsches on a Thursday night definitely has my ears pricked, and I'm definitely thinking about having a good go in the Porsches as well.
So just about the entire suite, by the sounds of that. I like it. I'm all for it. Let me come back to you in a sec, Jackson. We've got the great man, the president, El Presidente, on the other side of the Nullarbor, Joe Baldwin, in the house right now. Trucker,
Yes,
I need to bring you in here, because that was some heart-stopping stuff in the final stages. No favouritism here, no bias, and that was proven by the fact that you handed your own teammate a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly ask you for your thoughts on that incident and why you handed that 5 seconds to Adam, because as I said, there was momentum off that ripple strip that unfortunately didn't help matters. That's what put him into Jared in the first place. But what a way to recover and overturn that penalty and turn it into a profit, eh?
Absolutely. Look, the funny thing is, if you overlay the two incidents, the one between Kurt and Zamora early in the race and the one between Adam and Jared there, they are literally carbon copies of each other. Like, there's no difference. They got the inside curb, bounced them out. There was room. They sort of didn't have to get that shallow into the curb to create the point of like bouncing out and making contact. Now,
the only thing that I mentioned on commentary, just before you elaborate, and I want you to take this into consideration as well, is that as far as from what I could gauge from what Kurt was saying, is Eduardo was the attacking car in that situation, whereas Adam was defending the line. That's the only point of difference that I saw.
Yeah, well, they were sort of 6-1/2 dozen. Like, it was sort of Adam was on the inside and was defending, and Zamora was on. Zamora was on the inside and sort of attacking, but he'd gotten in front, sort of thing. So, but when you take from the point of turning, they were the same scenarios.
Yep.
So, and they were basically a carbon copy. Like, even though coming down the straight, they were sort of different positions. At the point of turning, it was, 6-1/2 dozen yellow. That was the exact same scenario, and it was just catching the curb and moving out and not leaving the room when there was enough room on turning for both cars in both scenarios. And in the matter of fairness, and like I say, it pained me to do it, but no more than it did to give it to Zamora, because it's, whilst we've won championships together in, teaming up in the Porsche Cup, the AM Series, the Porsche Cup. I think we won 3 or 4 in a row in the Porsche AM Cup and battled tooth and nail for championships together. We're teammates, we're friends, we're on the committee together, all that, like it's, he's a great guy, but I've got to treat him the same as I do every other member. So that probably proves that, when I'm in racing trial, I don't play favourites with anybody. It's, and I went straight into our team chat and I said to Adam, look, I was cheering you the whole way to get that 5 seconds back, and I'd probably put it down as one of the better drives he's ever done, like being thrown in that position and make sure he's got that point buffer. He really didn't need to be 2 positions behind Baz at the end of it with the extra points that are available in the final round tonight. So Adam really dug his heels in, and I'm super proud of him as a teammate. It's he dug deep and pulled back from what was a fair penalty for both Zamora and Adam. I feel there was no incident points attached to it. It was just as small as we can get. It was just a 5-second penalty for sort of bumping the other car off the road. It's just as simple as that. So it's when I'm in racing control, I like to play fair for everybody, and everybody gets a fair shake of the sab, as they say. So but as well as that, super congratulations to Jackson. He's been stellar away. It's such a pity we didn't have Aiden and who was the other standout all season was Mark Gomes. Yeah, Mark Gomez. Yeah, we miss him tonight as well. So it's it's a pity we lost those guys for the last couple of rounds. But I mean, Jackson's finished 150 points ahead of his nearest competitor. A bit over actually by the look of it. So it's it's a Simon drive from him, and just shows the talent he's got in open wheel cars, which he's proven time and time again with the different series we've run, and I've run officials with Jackson around the mountain, and we've had some great races, and then he buggers off in the distance. So he's done it again. So well done to Jackson and to all the guys in the series. It's a fresh car that we decided to do, and I think it's probably put on some of the best open wheel racing that we've had. Maybe aside from the IndyCars, some of the IndyCar stuff's been pretty impressive over the past 5 years. So it's it's very much up there, I think, with the racecraft that the guys have shown. Have been on par with anything that the open wheels have ever put on. And I think I've done all but 2 rounds. One night I didn't get home, and I broadcast last week as far as the race control goes.
Yeah.
And there's never been any more than a handful of incidents involved. Like, we haven't had a junkie night yet, so it just shows, it's a car that races well. And congrats to everybody that took part this season.
Hey, geez, a week's a long time in this caper. I hadn't forgotten about it, but it wasn't until you jogged my memory just then that I was like, yeah, that's right. We had a different drivers lineup in here last Thursday night. I haven't seen our commentary colleague Daniel Correa-Sar's absence just yet, but we'll get to that. Now, very quickly, on that subject, we've been with you Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. It'd be remiss of me not to remind everybody that Joe and Nick will be here tomorrow night. Even though Thursday night Motorsport, we're putting the full stop on that tonight. Joe and Nick here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 3 NASCAR races around Daytona. You know you don't want to miss that. As soon as we put NASCAR and Daytona together, or Talladega together, you know it's going to be well worth the price of admission. So looking forward to that. Starterby Trucker coming back to you shortly. Jackson, apart from Detroit, because you put the full stop on it here and the icing on the cake and everything else, what was the highlight of the season?
You know what? One track that I really used to dislike was Portimao, and this car and this track, this car-track combination actually, it's actually turned it around. I actually really rate Portimao now as a track in whatever car. It's actually, I did a GT3 race last week with the GSRC just because they were at Portimao. So that was definitely a highlight of the season. A lot of the battles with Aiden Luthwaite, they're always good. When you've got someone who's, I think I said it earlier in the season, when you've got someone who's breathing down your neck, constantly trying to, take your number one spot, it makes you work harder and it makes you want to improve more in all facets of your driving. So I credit that to him. I definitely think I've gotten better, especially in this car, with thanks to him, and guys like Mark Gomes as well. Like they're snapping at their heels and they're only getting better. So it means that I'll have to get better as well.
Indeed, mate. I guess the tricky part of race 2 was going to be working your way through from 10th with no strategy to really help you, but it did help that some of the drivers saw themselves out exit stage left or right, and that opened the pathway for you very nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. I nearly exited stage right myself.
That's right, yes, correct. Moment of the season right there, the fact that you got away with it.
Yeah, I'm still kissed on the bum by the good luck fairy there. That was, I don't know how I got away with that one myself, but it's just, again, I've alluded to it previously in the reverse grid races. You've just got to be patient. You've got, I think it was 20 minutes. I think it was 20 minutes, which is a fairly long time. Like, that's knowing you've got obviously such a pace advantage through your qualifying. Like, you're 6/10 a lap. Like, 6/10 can cover a couple of cars, and you've only got to basically pick off one car every 2 minutes. So that's basically less than one car a lap. So when you think about it that way, it affords you the logic to be patient.
And the ability to be as well, yeah. Now, just before we let you two go, Greg Heaney, bring you back in. Some great signs for what's to come from your stable, but obviously tonight you were. It must feel nice to actually be the best of the business for Whiskey in this instance. Unfortunately, your teammates deserted you, left you high and dry tonight, so it's nice that you were able to pick up the freight.
Well, yeah, most definitely. We can blame COVID for Aiden not being here.
No, mate, people have raced with COVID before. Let's not use that as an...
I know, but when he's under the weather and when he runs out of talent, like we found out last night in GT3, he gets real cranky with himself. So if he wants his space, he has his space, and we'll just leave him be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was unfortunately. Aiden couldn't make it tonight, but yeah, no, you're all right. It is nice to be top of the pile, so to speak, within our stable tonight. But yeah, and again, I'll start, Jackson, congratulations on the win and the championship. I did mention it before, but you weren't in here, so well done on that, man.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you. And sorry, Zach.
No, you're right. Keep going.
I was just going to say thanks, your team and Eden, as I alluded to before, those guys have really been making me work for it all season. So, on behalf of me and the Summit boys, we thank you guys too.
We had Monza, we had Hungaroring, Barcelona, Algarve, of course. We went to Suzuka for a couple, Circuit of the Americas. We went to Watkins Glen. We went to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, to Road America, and now to Belle Isle, right? So we had 10 all right tracks for the course of this campaign. I ask you this, gentlemen. Super Formula Lights goes from Thursday to Tuesday, provided that both of you are on the grid. Aside from maybe some more wet weather racing, once we've got those, gremlins sorted out. Any circuits that you'd like to see these cars on next term? Because I know the calendar's still a work in progress. Jackson, start with you.
Bring on some Australian tracks, I reckon. Your Bathurst, your Phillip Island. Maybe
interesting.
Maybe not Winton.
Yeah, let's not. No.
Yeah, probably not Winton and these things.
Maybe a Sandown.
Definitely Sandown. I reckon these would be a hoot, Sandown. I reckon if you can, in real life, if you can take the SF 5000s, the Super 5000s there, I'm sure you could take these things, and I reckon that'd be a good fun. But yeah, Bathurst, Phillip Island, Sandown, I think should definitely be on the calendar next season. And it's really about it. Hopefully we get Pukekohe soon as well. It's been coming for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, more Australian, New Zealand tracks. Okayama's another good one. It's
okay.
A bit tight, but
a little bit, yeah.
Another track that I really like, and I think would be good fun in these cars as well.
What's on the wish list for you, Kurt and Greg?
I reckon something a little bit different, like left of field, maybe a Tsukuba. It's a little bit windy and technical.
Very, very technical. Yeah.
That would definitely throw up some curveballs in terms of racecraft, because it's so tight and twisty, and I mean, similar to Sandown. I mean, Sandown's, yes, you've got some decent straights and stuff, but there is obviously coming into Dandenong Road, if you pinch a brake there, you're pretty much in sand trap. But Tsukuba, you've got very short straights with a lot of hairpins. That's I reckon, would make for some really good racing, because everyone's going to be trying to go for those late brake moves and trying to sneak it in underneath somebody else without obviously destroying the other car or your own car in the process. But
yep.
Was it Marco Simicelli?
Misano? Yep.
Yeah, Misano, definitely Misano.
Yep.
I reckon that would be a real good one.
No one's mentioned Long Beach. I mean, if you're looking at concrete canyons from Belle Isle to Long Beach, even Chicago would be in there.
I reckon these are good well at Long Beach. It's just enough of not bumping, like. I don't mind it.
What's interesting? What about Barber Motorsport Park? Literally built for these things.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah, I can't believe I actually.
I mean, it's built for any car, but it's built for these things.
I mean, Chance, I'm sorry, we've only got 10 weeks to fill, so I mean, I think you've given me 15 tracks already, but
I mean, to be honest.
Another
let's
good
throw
one
them
is
around.
Lebanon.
Yeah?
Let it know.
Jeez. Interesting. iRacing really, here's one for you. iRacing really missed the opportunity when they went and scanned the Circuit de la Sarthe to just go and do the Bugatti circuit on the inside as well, and so that you'd have an opportunity to go and run a shorter configuration at Le Mans. I reckon they need to go and rectify that before too long. What about Joe? If you were to get a chance to have a run in these things instead of being race control, what would you like to see?
Bathurst.
Fair enough. I mean, hang on. Joe, you've got mountain men for that, haven't you?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, Joe's still dirty. I beat him.
I wouldn't dirty with anyone, but let's be honest. There's so many great places. I think Sandown absolutely be a place that would suit these. Another one that Okayama. I think Okayama would be a circuit that'd be right in the wheelhouse of these sorts of cars. You got the, you've got the tight sections where it's going to, be hard to get on the power and whatnot. Out off the corners, and you want big downforce and whatnot. There, you've got the big long back straight that's got the sweeping corner onto it, where you want to be able to stretch the legs. I think that a place like Okayama, I think it really shine for the driver's driver in these cars. So that'd be a place I'd like to see.
I do apologise to everybody at home if it feels like we're dragging this post-race show out. It's because we are, and the reason we're doing that is because I'm waiting for final confirmation from the great man Adam Lavis. Once I see everything restored in order here on the Spreyton side of Wins and Slicks Super Formula Light points matrix, the Google Drive document that he puts together so meticulously each and every week, I will be able to give you final championship standings, positions, etc. And maybe even do the same with Formula V if we're here long enough. If not, I'll get Joe and Nick to do that for you tomorrow night, Formula V. Before I go on, let me remind everybody, we mentioned this earlier in the week, but let's remind everybody again, and there's a special bit of news attached to this as well that I'll get Joe and Dan to elaborate on in a tick too. Monday Night Motorsport next term remains unchanged. Supercar on-trade GT3 main course. The big differences here will be that we're going to upscale, if you like. The supercar, we're going from the old model to the new model. As far as iRacing is concerned, we haven't got to Gen 3 just yet with iRacing, but we'll go back to Gen 2. So the Mustang up against the Commodore, looking forward to that. GSRC Monday Night Motorsport, there it is. Right, the second instalment of Monday Night Motorsport, the main course, will be GT3 Pro, and we're excited about that because, as you saw there, it'll be Ford up against Chevy Corvette versus 7 other makes and models that are playing a supporting role, basically, to what is going to be another dose of... So Monday night is essentially Ford v General Motors night, if you don't mind, because you're going to have the Holden first up and you're going to have the Chevy second up. Tuesday Night Motorsport, big change here. Of course, introductory formula makes its debut with 3 sprint races, and now this will rotate. There'll be 2 rounds each in the Formula V, in the Skip Barber, in the Formula Ford, in the Renault 2.0, and in the Formula 4, using the same format that we saw in Formula V tonight, 3 sprint races. This format here, Wings and Slicks, moves to a new night with the new race formats that we've seen and everything else throughout the course of this season, and it's backed by popular demand, so it will finish, it'll run for a second season just on a new night, but still in a main course slot, and hard to argue with that because it's been so well received this season. So yeah, same series, new night. All the nooks and crannies remain the same, except it's on the other T day of the week, not Thursday. Wednesday night remains unchanged. Let's remind everybody that it will be the Production Car Challenge. Again, multiple cars here, but there are some differences. The GT1, because obviously the big changes include that we've lost up-and-comers out of Tuesday night, replaced by introductory formula. We've lost the GT1 Civil War, replaced by the Wings and Slicks because of the returning Porsche Cup. So the Porsche Cup comes out of the Production Car Challenge lineup, and the GT1 slots in. Everything else there remains unchanged. 2 sprint races, the schedule, the format, and the schedule will rotate between those 5 cars. So a new car each week, but 2 rounds for each car. Multiple race formats follows, including potentially torrential rain if IR issues are sorted at their end for the GT4 Challenge. Again, 5 manufacturers, different race formats. You'll love that. It has been fantastic throughout the course of this season. Well done to the champions that were crowned there last night. So that's Wednesday night. Thursday night, big changes here. An all-new look to Thursday Night Motorsport with thanks to Spreyton Cider. There it is. LMP2 in the Dallara P217. The LMP2 cars, downforce legends, sprint and 40-minute formats. So again, different formats, different weeks, different circuits. Can't wait to see the lineup of tracks on offer here. Mind-blowing corner speeds, lap times, and they will go by in the blink of an eye. and they will be hard fought. And it seems as though it's going to be hugely popular with club members willing to give it a crack. Followed by the return of the Porsche Cup. So Formula V phased out and Porsche Cup back is the big change on a Thursday night. Multiple different race formats, potentially rain, and can anyone stop Denchi from winning title number 10? They certainly couldn't in GT3. Let's see if they can do it in the Porsche. Friday night, we're excited about the return of IndyCar. So I know we've had the NASCAR experience there on a Friday night. It's out. IndyCar is back, and there'll be 65-minute races. There is potential for broadcast here. We're just waiting to confirm all those details. I've been approached about getting into the commentary box on a Friday night, which I wasn't going to because I've been happy with 2 nights a week, but who can say no to IndyCar? And as long as I can make it work around radio and other commitments here, we'll make that happen for most of the season. Won by competition caution. There'll be fuel and tyre limits, road and oval races. That will be fantastic. Great to set back on the platforms for GSRC. It looks like everything that's old is new again. Mountain Men continues on a Saturday night. On a Sunday night, the Sunday rather, throughout sporadically the next 2 terms, the second half of the GSRC Endurance Championship for 2024, which continues in a couple of weeks at the Motorsport Canadian Tire Motorsport Park venue in Canada. In the meantime, there is something exciting, Joe Bob, when awaiting our Super Formula Light competitors next season as we build towards, believe it or not, we're going to do this on a Tuesday, but we're building towards a Wednesday, smack bang in the middle of September. Mate, tell us more about that, please.
We are teaming up with another club. Oh God, you've caught me on the hop here.
There it is.
There we go. He's got it up. Thank you very much.
Sim Racing World.
So Sim Racing World and GSRC are going to combine for, as it's seen there, the Australian Open World Nationals. So it's going to be top 20 guys from their club and our club. We'll get invites or nominate, or we're not exactly sure how the format's going to work just yet. We're in negotiations with them now, just trying to nut that stuff out. So but that's going to be a midweek extravaganza between seasons C and D, and it's something we're really looking forward to. I think there's going to be a lot of exciting things to come out of working together with other top line clubs in the country. So this is probably one of those initiatives that I'm really excited where this can lead to long term. So certainly looking forward to this one. And speaking of Super Formula Light, exciting things, wait until you see the points breakdown. I'm
getting to that right now.
I'm not aware that this has happened in GSRC history, people. So
have a listen to this,
your eyes on this.
So round points. Let's start there. Round points for tonight. 128 for Jackson Rayhana. No surprise there. Clean sweep. Icing on the cake. Everything. Only 3 incident points in race 2 and 2 in race 3. So he didn't get the full bonuses, but he still got 128 points. He wins the championship by 173. As I said, he had the advantage over everybody coming into the night. Second for the round, Brett Barker, 112. Third for the round, David Baz, 96. Fourth for the round on 88 points was Guy Leach. 87 for Adam Lavis in fifth. Going down the order a little bit there, 64 points for Kurt Nomanson. I wanted to just highlight Jared Knight if I could. I'm just trying to find where Knight is. He's well down the order because we haven't seen him. He picked up 64 points tonight as well. So, sorry, 64 for, no, my eyes deceived me. I looked at the wrong line there. Kurt, 13 points, and Jared, 64 points. So, 64 points. So, for anyone that was wondering why he didn't factor in the points equation there, it was because of a poor result in one of the earlier races. What that did for the championship, Jackson Rayhana, 579. A tie for second. I repeat, a tie for second. Adam Lavis on count back ahead of Brett Barker. 406 points apiece. Can you believe that? 401 for David Baz, and Guy Leach, who was the fourth car in the 5 here, on 392. 376 for Mark Gomez. 325 for Matt Schmidtke, and Aidan Lutzwaite, 320 points, despite not being on the grid, finished 8th. John Baldwin, 310, and Sam Chapman, 268, made up the field in this championship. this season, as far as the top 10 were concerned anyway. 579 for Ray Harner, 173 clear of a dead heat for second. Adam Lavis, Brett Barker, and then David Baz. Brett Barker jumped up 5 spots tonight. It has to be noted.
Yes, one thing I just have to say, like, so unfortunate for Dave Baz. Last week he was involved in an incident at Road America.
Yes, he was.
And it went to the stewards, and he ended up with obviously it was line ball, but the stewards imposed a 10-second penalty. That was the difference between second and fourth. He would have finished on 407 points if he hadn't had his incident last week. Look, I remember he had one. I can't picture it off the top of my head from at the time, whether we didn't catch it or whatever, but so unfortunate for Dave. He obviously was caught up in an incident that got ruled on as a 10-second, and it just shows, like, you know, it could even be a penalty from race 1 or 2 of the season. You've just got to stay clean the whole season to get the results. As we know, Aiden, unfortunately, he's dropped all the way back to 8th after
and Mark, and
he was a force early in the season. He had a lot of fantastic results and really took it up to Jackson earlier. At the midpoint of the season, you wouldn't have wanted to put $1 on either one of them to win over the other. Mark Gomez was very strong. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him much, but consistency rules, guys. We've got the devil in Adam Lavis. Like, he's always there. His consistency is just on point. Doesn't matter what he's driving, he's always there at the end of the season. So the Jackson, Adam and Brett, top marks to those guys. Unlucky to Dave Baz probably to miss out on a podium, but I'm sure he'll be strong next season when we bring him back.
41 points, the difference between Ray Harner and Lavis just tonight alone. 16 over Brett Barker and 32 over David Baz. So, I mean, even though technically, mate, you didn't have to be here tonight, it paid dividends to be here tonight. And you got the job done. But, I mean, the writing's on the wall there that provided that those guys can string together 10 weeks and find a way in which to either reel you in or rely on you to have some shortcomings that they've encountered throughout the course of this season. This championship, even though that margin's extraordinary at the top end of town, this championship's tight and competitive.
Absolutely. There's another driver there I wouldn't mind giving a shout out to as well. Jack Humphreys. He only did a handful of rounds, I think maybe 2 or 3 rounds he ended up doing.
Yep.
But I vividly remember he was right under my rear wing at Suzuka when it was raining. And I think it was in Monza, the first round as well. He was very competitive. So
second overall at Monza, and he actually won the round at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, at Coda. Yeah, that was one. As I said, he was very fast. Suzuka as well. So yeah, he's another one I'd like to give a shout out to. He's very quick. So yeah, hopefully a couple of those guys can come back next season, and we can make it a proper tussle, and have it come down to the last round and deliver something extraordinary for you guys.
Well, I think that was already extraordinary enough, quite frankly. Some great racing there, some great entertainment. Really enjoyed it. John Baldwin's just dropped on by to have a chat to us here. 10th in the end in that third race, mate. Talk us through your night.
Yeah, a little bit untidy, but fun. I actually was in front of Paul for that last race, and he must have put in some good laps after he came out of pits, because he ended up jumping me after my pit stop, but I thought I was going okay there. I thought I might have stayed out in front of him, but same with Greg, where I was catching Greg hand over fist, but sort of got stuck behind Mark for a bit, and then once we cleared Mark, sort of made a few inroads. Greg pitted, I kept going. but obviously they came out maybe on fresh tyres or something because I didn't take any, and must have been putting some good laps in because they both sort of, well, Greg gapped me and then Paul Wilson jumped me.
Indeed. I mean, I've asked the other blokes, but they've already seen themselves out. So in this order, thanks to Kurt Nomenson, to Greg Heaney, and to Jackson Ray Harner, and well done to Jackson on the championship. I was thinking they might stick around, but no, they've seen their opportunity to bolt. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. What did you enjoy most about learning this car and applying your trade here throughout the course of the season, Joe? Sorry, John, I should say. I'll get to Joe in a minute, because I knew it was going to happen eventually. I got two Baldwins in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. John, as far as the season was concerned, what are your takeaways? What did you enjoy most about learning the car? What track did you enjoy the most? And I guess, what are you looking forward to next season if you go around again when it moves to a Tuesday night?
I really enjoyed tonight, actually. I thought I was going to hate it when I cut some laps there earlier in the week because I was having trouble, but what I liked about the cars is the feel where if you seem to make more time aggressively turning them in rather than trying to coax them through turns. If you drive it a bit like a go-y and give it a good reef to get it to turn in, it seems to go better.
Potentially so, and I guess what about the circuits? Because I've just picked the brain of the other guys earlier whilst we're waiting for the points to be calculated. If you have another crack at it next season, are there any tracks on the hit list that you'd particularly like to see?
Phillip Island, I think. I'm not sure if we got to race there in Phillip Island, but Phillip Island and these things would be good fun. Suzuka, I still like Suzuka as a great track. Most of the tracks we chose for this round were really good, actually, because they seem to have a good mix of fast turns, which I like, and so even if the schedule didn't change, but found Phillip Island in there somewhere, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Very nice. It seems as though there's a lot of momentum behind Phillip Island at the moment. Where else are we going to see you next season, mate? What do you got your eye on?
Thursday night's tossing up between the LMPs or the Porsches. Kind of depends on my two amigos, Brett and Leachy. We haven't raced the LMP, so I'm pretty keen to do that. But if the boys have got their heart set on Porsches, I'll happily run with those. But I'd prefer LMPs at the moment because we haven't been anywhere with those yet.
All right, very nicely done. Looking forward to seeing what comes of the new season in terms of results, competitor participation, and also the on-track component of it in terms of the stuff that's going to make the highlight reel good, bad, and ugly. Hey, John, well done tonight, mate. The livery, a throwback for those that remember to 1999. Very nicely done with the VAR.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that one.
I like
that. Bingo, that's the one we got to go with.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That is a terrific throwback. 99, 2000, that vintage there. Hey, thanks for dropping on by to have a chat to us, mate. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you go around next term.
Yep, no worries. Thanks, boys. Good job in the commentary box. And Uncle Joe, I'll catch you later.
And what
no
actually, just as you do go, John, what do you do with the next 2 weeks, mate? The fact that we've got some time off here, do you put the feet up? Do you walk away from the sim rig, or do you go into practice and training mode for next term?
I'll probably spend next week doing not much, just bumming around. Maybe the week before, start have a bit of a look at the schedule and maybe bone up on the first race or two, depending on where we wind up.
All right, very nicely done. I appreciate that, mate. We look forward to watching you in action next term.
Cheers, mate.
Enjoy the break. And I think we're all going to enjoy the break just quietly. Daniel Correa, I can't let you go without getting some thoughts from you. I mean, both as racer and broadcaster, it's hard to believe 10 weeks have come and gone that quickly.
It is, but that's good because you wouldn't want them to go too slowly. Depends how much you were enjoying it, I suppose. But the good thing is, it's sad to see the season wrap up, but then it also means that we have a new season coming. So You take the good with the bad. But I have to admit, as far as racing goes, the Formula V session we had tonight might be one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh, without doubt, it was off the chart. It was fantastic.
Not just that, and I'm gonna just to shout out yesterday as well. We wrapped up the GT4s, and
yes, mate.
By golly, was that good! It was a flat out between Trent Lavis and Sam Muir, and those last couple of laps, I was on the absolute edge of my seat. Phillip Island,
and
no
that's well, that's exactly right. And that's the way it should be, and that's why we love it. There's no doubt about that. Hey, thanks, mate. Appreciate your efforts throughout the course of the term and season. Well done to Liam Banks as well for anchoring Wednesday nights with you there. And how lucky we all are that we get next week off to go and enjoy the spectacle that is State of Origin Rugby League. Very excited about that and more. But Joe Baldwin, last couple of words to you here, mate. I mean, you've been the president for a little while now. You must be proud of the show that's been put on throughout the course of the season and the way in which the club continues to go from strength to strength and continues to showcase some top quality, not just racing, but also some of the up-and-coming sim racing talent that this country has to offer.
Certainly does. There's been a steady influx of new drivers. I mean, you're going to get that turnover, you're going to get some guys that will go on to different things, but we're getting a lot of fresh new faces and guys that they're passionate about the sim racing, and they've come in and they're passionate about the club as well, which has been fantastic. Having I've got a fantastic team, around me, actually not around me. The committee is a great team of guys that get together, and we put a lot of hours in to try and make sure that we can put on the best product for the guys that want to get in a race, and the broadcast team are impeccable. They do a fantastic job, and the race control team, there's a small but very dedicated bunch of guys there. We're actually going to put the feelers out to get a few more guys involved for the race control. So if it's something that you think you'd like to get onto, we got a few extra races next season. So if there's anybody out there that wants a little bit of training to give up one night of racing for for the benefit of the club and themselves, like we look after the guys that look after us. So. But, where we're at now, you got like SRW are coming to us and wanting to join forces, and it just shows that I'm pretty proud of where we're at the moment. Strength to strength is probably the way I like to say, and I'm proud. It's sort of feel like a proud dad. I've been around since the inception of it, and to see where we're at now from where we started with a group of about 7 or 8 guys, it's a fairly interesting story. If anybody ever wants to sit down and have a chat about it, it's where we've come from to where we've gone, and having the likes of yourself, Zach, you're an integral part of the club. It wouldn't be the same without having you as part of the team as we get to the middle of probably what's bit over 4 years.
It's over now, 4, yep.
It's over 4 years, so we'll be 5 years at Christmas time, which is an achievement in itself, hanging around that long in this sort of competitive environment. So, certainly happy where the club's going, and about the next thing on the agenda with the committee is starting to get organised for the AGM, which is going to be in probably the end of August. I've got my headset just went flat.
Oh dear.
So I can't hear anything, guys. Just let me change my battery. Sorry, guys.
Jeez, there we go. Of all the things you didn't think you'd hear. The battery's on Joe's headset. See, everyone's telling me that, this wireless technology, this is great, this is the way to go.
There we go, I have you again. Flat. Sorry about that.
And then it goes flat. So nothing beats the old cable as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
You're on the old collar and lead though with the cable, but that's okay. Continue on, Joe.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I can't remember where I was at now. I heard a big beep and a set
You mentioned
sideways.
AGM.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, so we got the AGM. That's due in August, I think. I've actually got something in mid-August, which is going to have me out of action and out of the sim for a couple of weeks. So we'll probably do it. It's either going to be very early August or late August. We'll work around that. So obviously I can be a part of it. But yeah, so we got that to look forward to now, and sorting out season C. So yeah, a lot to look forward to with the club. We're gonna get busy now with the AGM coming and different things. This inter-club nationals race that we've got coming up. So yeah, certainly excited to where we're heading.
Indeed. It's an exciting time to be a part of an exciting club. Joe Baldwin, well done on all your efforts throughout the course of the season. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's our last chance, actually, before Joe and Nick bring you Friday Night Motorsport for the final time this time, to say a big thanks to everybody behind the scenes on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, because all of what you guys see at home is the net result of tireless hours, thankless ones at that, quite often, quite regularly, of work and attention to detail, and a fair bit of blood, sweat and tears from the guys at committee level. We wouldn't be able to do it without the sponsors. I'll thank them in a moment. We wouldn't be able to do it without the club members, because at the end of the day, they do put on the show. But the guys that drive the wagon behind the scenes, they're an integral part of the club, organising schedules, putting championship points together, organising servers, rallying sponsors, organising broadcasts, all that sort of stuff, going through the tape, reviewing things from race control, stewards' hearings, etc. and so forth. It's a full-time job for most of these guys that already have full-time jobs. So, no, their commitment is
unpaid jobs.
But that's exactly right.
For the most part, yeah.
100%. So their dedication to their craft is to be commended. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but hey, we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it.
Exactly right, and where would we be if we didn't love it? We'd be sitting on the lounge, with no plans, nothing to do, nowhere to go, on a Thursday night, and in fact any other weeknight as well. So, big thanks to all the crew, big thanks to Race Control, big thanks to the team that put these broadcasts together, led by Adam Lavis, and of course Daniel Correa, Joe Baldwin, and everybody else that plays their hand in that. Big thanks to you at home, because at the end of the day, we can sit here and broadcast all we like, but it defeats the purpose if there's no one watching the bloody thing. So a big thanks to everyone at home who tunes in and makes us part of your weekly viewing habit. Remember, this is your first, final and only warning, ladies and gentlemen. Next term, you're going to need a sports bar set up at home, right? You're going to need one screen for the GSRC, you're going to need 2 screens for the Olympics, because we're going to broadcast through the Olympics. And early morning activity into mid-afternoon activity there in Paris is going to coincide with GSRC racing. I did lobby for some annual leave. I was unsuccessful, so no, I will be here. I missed my calling. I should have renewed the passport last year, relocated to France this year, but no, that will have to wait for another day. But we will be broadcasting during the Olympics. We will soldier on. We'll be that alternative viewing option that you've got, us on one screen, the Olympics on the others, and then you'll follow along live score ups for the NRL and AFL, because we just won't have time for them, with the Olympics taking up most of the leeway. Let's have a look ahead on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and remind you once again that tomorrow night the NASCAR Car Superstar Racing Experience takes us to the Daytona International Speedway Oval for one final hit out. 15 minutes for race 1, a full reverse grid for race 2 over 20 minutes, a top 10 invert for race 3 over 20 minutes as well. All that coming away. Nick Fodiatis, Joe Baldwin in the house, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, the next port of call for us will be Saturday night, Mountain Men GT1, Mount Panorama Bathurst, 50 laps. The journey there, 300 kilometres for Mountain Men this week. Just to put the icing on the cake as far as their 10-week campaign was concerned, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sundays at the moment, there's nothing until we get to July 7. That'll be the next round of the GTP GT3 Endurance Championship from Motorsport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Canada. So I'm not sure if there's any broadcast at least, but we do have some endurance racing coming up on Sunday, July 7. Then, Season 17, Term 3 of 2024 launches into life Monday, July 8. We'll have Supercars 2019 style Mustangs in the house, you beauty, from 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Venues and race formats, all that to be confirmed, of course, particularly for our main course offerings. But for the entree, of course, 25-minute sprint races in weeks 1 to 9 and a 45-minute mini enduro in week 10. We will have night 1 of week 1 of term 3 for you, Monday, July 8. So it'll be Supercars into GT3. Monday stays the same. Tuesday night, the introductory formula, all the open wheelers across the course of 10 weeks there. 5 cars, 2 weeks per car throughout the course of 10 weeks. It'll be followed by, on a Tuesday night, this championship here. Super Formula Lights, Wings and Slicks moves to Tuesday. Open Wheel Night moves to Tuesday. Essentially what that means, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday night remains unchanged. It's not broke, don't fix it. Production cars into GT4. Again, same format for both championships, same night of the week. Thursday night's the big change. LMP2 takes the place of Formula V. I got the black armband at the ready. But I reckon the LMP2 will be absolutely fantastic racing nonetheless. Followed by the return of the Porsche Cup and Denchi out in pursuit of title number 10. And the potential for wet weather racing there in the Porsches makes it all the more fascinating as well. Friday night, out with the NASCARs, back in with the IndyCar. The Road to Indy Series launches for the first time in 2024 on the platforms of the GSRC. That'll be Friday, July 12th. Excellent stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport for the final time this term. It's been great fun. On behalf of Daniel Correa-Sarr, Josh Zoino, Joe Baldwin, all the broadcast commentary and production team that have been a part of it here tonight. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. We thank you very much for your support, your viewership throughout the course of the season. It's been magnificent to have you along for the ride, especially those of you that have hung in there all the way, all 10 weeks right through to the end of the broadcast, because there aren't many of you. But if you've enjoyed it as much as we have, we finish happy. Glenn said Rd-10, the champion in Formula V. Just quickly, I'm hoping that those results are finalised and I can bring them to you. I'm just waiting for the document to load up on my screen here. Just having a little bit of trouble with it at the moment. Let me hit the refresh button. Let's hope that it comes through. As I wait for that, big thanks to Spreyton Cider, to Waste Options, to Orbic Australia, to Lobsy Racing, to M-Wave Australia and to Flash Graphics for their continued ongoing support of the term and the season. That is 2024 on the platforms of the GSRC. Final point standings in Spreyton Cider Formula V. Glenn said Rd-10 606 played Sam Chapman, 548. Adam Lavis, 544. Heck, that was tight between second and third again. And Ryan Tate, 437, 409 for Chris Noble, 407 for Tony Baker, who was missing in action tonight, 387 for Phil King, 373 for John Merritt, 356 for Brendan Nealon, and 349 points for Kevin Henderson. Merritt, despite missing the first 4 rounds of the championship pretty much, got into the top 10. Extraordinary from the Prince of Formula V. Pulse Tuning retained the title, but it's in the hands of Glenn Seto this time around. So there you have it. Term 2 is done as far as we're concerned. Night 4 of Grand Final Week, done and dusted. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed Spreyton side of Thursday Night Motorsport, Open Wheel Night on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Well done to Glenn Seto, Rd-10 and Jackson Rayhana. Victorious in their respective championships. Round winners on Grand Final Night as well. On behalf of the entire crew here, I'm Zach Caven. Enjoy what's left of Term 2 tomorrow night with the NASCARs from Daytona. Enjoy your weekend. Of course, plenty of great sport happening, both of the motorsport variety and not, headlined by Formula One from Spain, IndyCar from Laguna Seca, NASCAR, of course, in action from New Hampshire as well. And, of course, enjoy the next 2.5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. State of Origin next week. The countdown to the Olympics is on. We look forward to your company Monday, July 8th for the launch of Monday Night Motorsport and Term 3. More to the point. For the moment, from all the crew here, I'm Zach Caden wishing you a very good night.